Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to Carefree Lewis G. Welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to another video. As always, got Johnny with me as well. Big up yourself, Johnny. What are you saying, man?
Yes, Lewis. Yeah, big up everyone. Big up yourself. Big up everyone in the chat. Like and subscribe for Lewis. Help him grow. And yeah, all good, man. Happy to be
Yeah,
here.
great to hear that as well. Johnny's also got a YouTube channel too. So if you guys haven't checked it out and you guys want to join the trend as well, check it out. The link is down in the description below. We are actually doing a call-in this show. It's not going to be like the last one where I said I was going to do and then I realized I had another stream I had to hop on half an hour afterwards. This time we're actually going to do a stream. And also, if you guys want to talk about the Donnarumma news from a few days ago and you guys jump in, we can talk about that as well. I don't mind because half of these call-ins go hell off topic anyway, so it's cool. But in this video, we're going to be talking about up front. We're going to be talking about potential striker options for the summer. We already know the interest with Erling Haaland. We also know newfound interest in Romelu Lukaku that's coming out as well, because Chelsea are understanding that they aren't going to be the only team that's interested in Erling Haaland this summer. And it's not like last season where everybody's finances were tanked because of the virus. It's the case for some teams, but not as much as others. And even for those teams, it's a case where they could sell players and they'll be able to get the reinvestments in to make this sort of deal too. So we've got a really tough fight on our hands to try and get Erling Haaland, especially with the brand new £153 million transfer fee that's been put on his head. That is a lot. So we're going to delve into the pros and cons of a Haaland transfer, a Lukaku transfer. Also going to look at some of the players that we have right now and if they would be the better options for us in the long term. And then we're going to open the lines up. We'll let you all have your say as well. You guys can jump in and let us know what striker you want to see us get out of a Haaland, a Lukaku, or maybe even another striker as well. But we are going to delve into it piece by piece. So we're going to go slowly and then we'll drop the StreamYard link in. So if you guys haven't seen it already, I'll drop the StreamYard link about 20-25 minutes into the stream. But let's go straight into it. And the news coming out from Matt Law says Chelsea are not the only club interested in Erling Haaland, which means alternatives will have to be considered, including former Stamford Bridge forward Romelu Lukaku, who's been in outstanding form for Inter Milan. The first thing is, I'm glad Chelsea are looking ahead to it and getting another plan B as an option, because we remember from a few years ago where we'd always push for the plan A, and then if that didn't work, we'd have the most shocking plan Bs in history. And that's half the reason why we had the 2017 summer window, where nearly every transfer we made was just a massive L. And it's good to see that we've improved from that in recent years, but same way, I want to ask Johnny initially, what's your thoughts on Romelu Lukaku's turnaround at Inter Milan? And would you like to see him as an option for Chelsea?
I'm going to be honest here. I'm not in favour of going for someone like Lukaku. I think he's had a fantastic season, obviously, and last season he was fantastic. But you got to understand that Lukaku's playing in a system, a Conte system that really, really does suit him. It's a counter-attacking system. Tuchel, for me, doesn't play like that. So I don't know whether Lukaku fits that kind of mould of striker that Tuchel would want. And for the money that we'd probably have to pay for Lukaku, I'm not so sure. That's kind of my touching the surface on it, really. I'm not saying he's not a good striker. He's a top striker. And I think if you're looking for, someone to bang you in 20, 25 goals a season, yeah, Lukaku can do that. But does he fit our system and our mould for the next sort of 2 years with Tuchel?
Because we need more of a centre forward. That's the one thing that we've noticed. And to be honest, Conte's really improved Lukaku's ability with his back to goal. And I think his link-up play and his hold-up play has improved massively since he's moved to Italy. But we also have to understand, and this is the same thing for Erling Haaland as well, where they both have to deal with a lot of space. And that works to their advantage. Like Romelu Lukaku, when he starts sprinting, he's literally unstoppable. But that's the thing where when you go to the Premier League, you're going to deal with half of the Premier League playing low blocks and you don't have that space in behind. And this is regarding the pair of them. This is why I think there's going to be a problem for both. But I think Lukaku would be more suited to handle it because he's been in the Premier League before. He's had the Premier League experience. The only problem with him was when he started bulking up at Manchester United. Like, he did look like a bit of a flat track bully at Manchester United. He struggled against the top six sides and he thrived against the teams in the lower half of the table. But now he's gone and he's upped his game at Inter Milan. I feel like he could come back and he's a much more confident player and he's a much more well-rounded player as well. And to be honest, I don't even really want to take too much of the Manchester United Lukaku into account because Like, I don't know what they let him do in Manchester United, but they just let him get so massive. It was the point where he had no agility about him anyway. Everyone just remembers Lukaku at United for his first touch. He wasn't even a bad striker for them. It's just they let him go massively. Like, the one thing I would have said, if we signed Romelu Lukaku in 2017, we wouldn't have let him bulk up like that. We would have kept him more slim and more lean. And it's even more obvious now that he's gone to he's gone to Antonio Conte's Inter Milan, the same manager who was with us at that time. He's slimmed down and he looks like a much better striker as a result of it.
How much would he go for, do you think, Lewis?
Here's the thing. I think with Inter Milan, low-key, if we were to get him, I feel N'Golo Kante goes the other way in some sort of capacity, because they've been after Kante for years. And then that just raises another question of, would you be willing to sell Kante to get a Romelu Lukaku in? And based on Kante's last game, I wouldn't. But I don't want to just base off the Atletico Madrid game. I do want to see more consistency from N'Golo Kante as well. I know what N'Golo Kante brings to the team. I know that he's better at breaking up play probably than anybody else in the world. I need to see him keep possession more, though. We saw that in the Atletico Madrid game. He did that to an amazing effect. That is just one game, though. And I'm not saying sell N'Golo Kante either. Like, I'd like to keep N'Golo Kante, especially for the long term too. But I don't see I see if we go for Romelu Lukaku, because they've been after Kante for so many years, they're going to try and put him in the deal too.
Yeah, I mean, Kante's obviously going to get more and more injury prone. That's the one thing I'd look at, and he's not getting any younger. But I mean, if you get rid of Kante for Lukaku deal,
No. It wouldn't be as an identical swap deal. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to do that either. It's just I see Milan trying to put Kante on the other side of the deal.
Oh, I see.
I'd rather we keep N'Golo Kante. For anyone who thinks that I want to sell him, no. I'd rather we keep him. But I think if we try and go for Lukaku, they're going to try and get Kante in the other way. Or at least they're going to try and go for another one of our strikers. Actually, and to be honest, if they did, I could see Olivier Giroud, because they were interested in Olivier Giroud before as well. We never really sold it to them. I think it was around, was it 2020? It was January last season. I think they were interested in Giroud. So I could see that happening if we gave Giroud a contract extension. And I could see that happening too, because we gave Batshuayi a 1-year extension for that exact same reason before we even loaned him out to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Like, because I think Giroud will go regardless, and if he can be sort of a bargaining chip for the deal, why not? Why not?
I mean, we got comments here. They're saying Jorginho as well as a potential option. There's been rumours of Jorginho going back to Italy anyway. Juventus have been quietly interested in him. I think Maurizio Sarri could be going either back to Napoli or Roma. And if he goes to either of them, it's likely that Jorginho goes in that way too. And at the very least, if that does happen, that raises more transfer funds towards a striker. And that means that we could even just go full out for cash for Romelu Lukaku instead, or an Erling Haaland too. So it could be one of them. But in the midfield, like, I've already had this question that it's probably going to be one of Kante or Jorginho that leaves anyway. I don't think Kovacic leaves, because I feel like he's probably the most well-rounded out of all three of the midfielders. So it makes the case out of either one of Jorginho and Kante, and that's just going to be manager's preference at that point.
I think, Lewis, we need a DM. We need an actual sitting DM, because I think that's why
the thing. In order for that to happen, one of them has to go.
Yeah, I'd keep Kante. I'd keep Kante. I just think he's best in the world. I don't want to lose a world class player. I know he's like 30, but I just feel like you want that experience and pedigree in your side. Jorginho, for me, he might end up going back to Napoli with Sarri if Sarri's going back there. You don't know, but
probably would. That's
more than likely. That's the route he'll go, because the system suits him. Sarri's system's perfect for him. So yeah, I don't know. I'd probably sell Jorginho. Although I love Jorginho, I do like him.
This is the thing, because it's a sticky one. Both of them are very important in certain ways. Like, Kante breaks up play like nobody else, but when Jorginho's on the pitch, we're so much smarter in possession. We don't lose the ball nearly as much as we used to, and that in turn creates more chances for us. The only thing people get annoyed at with Jorginho is that you don't really see him much on the goals and assist tally, but his pre-assists are half the reason for why we keep him there, and half the time it's because we're not making as many chances as we do without a Jorginho on the pitch. So that's why you need someone who's the best of both worlds, and it's so easy to say because it's easier said than done. But that's the problem when we've got two midfielders that excel in so many different areas, but not consistently all round. That's what the problem is for us right now.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, but looking at Lukaku anyway, the thing that goes to me the most is the experience and how much he's grown as a striker. But that's the problem with the space as well. And that's the same problem that I think we're going to have with an Erling Haaland too. And I wanted to go to Haaland as well. Everyone is gassed about Erling Haaland. And to be honest, he looks absolutely generational. And I understand that too. But the one thing I want to say as well, and it's one thing I've noticed recently, like, I'm very worried about him coming into the Premier League and still needing that little process of adaptation. And I don't think people are taking that too much into account right now. Like, he's got a £153 million price tag on his head. If Chelsea go and activate that after the summer that we've had last season, after our history with strikers, and he doesn't go and hit the ground running, like, the pressure that Timo Werner's on right now is mad enough in itself. And he's only a £48 million striker. We've now potentially could have a £153 million striker who's being hyped up as potentially one of the best strikers the game's going to see for the last 20 to 30 years. If he doesn't hit the ground running at a completely different league, which is a lot more physical, which isn't going to give him the space in behind that he has been so used to in the Bundesliga and at Salzburg as well, I could see him not struggling outright because I see his build, I see the type of striker that he is, and I think he could translate into a brilliant centre forward. But I just don't think it's going to happen immediately. And I think everyone has it hooked on their minds that he's going to come in right away and be the finished article. Really and truly, he isn't. And I don't want to put that pressure on him either. And for Erling Haaland, I'm not saying I wouldn't take him at Chelsea. I think he'd be a much better option on what we have right now, especially because I see his style of play as similar to Tammy, but he's already levels clear of Tammy. Like, I'm not going to say he's on the same level of him or anything like that, but I say they both are similar sorts of poachers and everything like that. And they both do well with space in behind too. And Tammy struggled because he doesn't have that space in behind. But he's good. But Tammy also would be good in the Bundesliga as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But with Erling Haaland, that's why I think if he comes into the Premier League, he's going to need that little period of adaptation. And for Chelsea right now, I don't think that's what we need, especially for 153 million. We're looking at a title challenge for next season. Like, if we want a title challenge, the one thing we need is a clinical finisher. And Haaland is that, but he is that in space. We haven't really seen him do that consistently against low blocks. And I think that's going to be a problem for us next season as well. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts, Lewis. I know they've put up whatever it is, 153 million up price tag, but let's be real. Out of all the clubs in Europe, how many can you say that could actually put down anywhere near that? And the only two clubs that come to mind, well, there's three clubs. So there's Manchester City, there's potentially Manchester United, and there's Chelsea. Everyone else is in real financial difficulty. We don't know if PSG are going to put down anything like that through their owners. They might do, but out of, like, you've taken out your Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, all these types of clubs with the history and probably the most pulling power to a player like Haaland. They're not in the mix for me. So it's all down to how our season goes, but it's also down to how Dortmund's season goes. If Dortmund do not get top four, then Dortmund are in the negotiation mix. They're not in a good position because Haaland's going to turn around and say, well, I want to play Champions League football and you can't offer me that. And a club like Chelsea will say, look, we're offering him Champions League football. We'll put down 110 million to start it off, or we'll put down 100 million and we'll work from there. Now, we know with Dortmund and the Sancho and United deal, they did not budge one pound. They didn't even budge. They wanted all the money up front, no installments, etc. So we know they can play hardball. It's down to where their season goes. I think Chelsea will sit there quite, patiently. They've probably spoken to his dad and maybe the player himself, who knows, testing the waters. But for me personally, I think there's a red flag in the sense that we know he's got mentality. We know he's a quality player and he's still raw, but he's sort of showing that He's got all the, like I said, all the minerals to reach the top. Okay, and he's doing it in the Champions League, on the Champions League stage, which is what you want. So he's got it. It's just, if he does go for, if we do buy it, or he goes to a club that's just spent like 130 million, how is he going to deal with that? Because he's only 20 years old.
That's the thing.
He's a kid. I mean, it's a lot on your shoulders to come in, and you're expected to deliver. Minimum, you want 20 goals from a player like that for that sort of money. But I will say, our team's had this whole season, because we've got a young side. We've got this whole season under our belts, the Havertzes, the Werners, the Ziyech's. They're going to be better next season. They're going to be more settled. So it might actually help Haaland in the sense that they might hit the ground running. Therefore, it'll be easier for him to just ease himself in. Or Werner might be bagging goals in the meantime. So there is that side of it. But I know what you mean. It's a lot of money. But I don't want to spend like 80 million or 90 million on Lukaku, how old is he now? Is he 27?
He's 27, 28, and that was one of the cons for Lukaku too, because he's been playing regular first-team football since the age of 16. Yeah. And we've seen, use Cesc Fabregas as an example, Wayne Rooney as examples too. Players that have played regular first-team football from a young age also really start to decline earlier as well. That's something I'd be worried about with a Lukaku, but then it also goes back round the other way. And with Lukaku's build and the style of play that he has, like, even if he aged and suddenly got slower and everything like that, he could still be a great centre forward. Yeah. I think he would age perfectly, and that's also why I would rather go for Lukaku, because I need experience. I need the finished article. Right now, Erling Haaland isn't, and that's not to say he won't be, and his ceiling is probably levels higher than a Lukaku is right now. But for 150 million, and also for the fact that, it also depends on the system, but for now, we don't really make as much chances as we should. And Haaland's the one where you have to make those chances for him. His positioning is amazing. He'll find all the right positions, and he finds that excellently. But you need players that will find him too. We don't really have that to that much of an extent. Like, really and truly, Kovacic can miss final balls. Kante can miss a final ball. Jorginho doesn't really, but Jorginho plays a lot deeper. And to be honest, he prefers to spread the play out a little bit more. Kai Havertz, I think, would be our best option, but you'd have to play in a centre-forward role, and you'd have to have Haaland a bit further forward for me. Timo Werner, potentially as well, because he can create chances as well. Hudson-Odoi, I feel, is a bit more selfish in terms of that way. He's more goal-hungry. I think he prefers to go for more of the end product himself. And not going to lie, with Hakim Ziyech, I just don't really see him fitting in the squad. Mason Mount too, I do need to see more end product from him as well. But you already know that's not me saying anything about his quality. I just need to see better end product from him too. But that's going to come in time. But that's why we need more players that will create those chances first for me.
Do you not think, Lewis, though, with out of Lukaku and Haaland, for me, I feel like if I know they're both going to be starved the way we're playing right now. Okay, they're not going to get many chances, but I feel like Haaland, out of Haaland and Lukaku, Haaland would take that half chance better than a Lukaku would. I feel like when Lukaku's starved, he's very ineffective, and Haaland. Look, the way I look at Haaland is he's gone from what league was he in before he went to Dortmund? Halfway through the season, he went from one league to Dortmund, all right, and he scored, he was up to 20 goals in the league he went before.
Oh, who, Haaland's?
Yeah, and then he went
Salzburg. He was at Salzburg.
Yeah, so he went from Salzburg banging loads of goals. All right, I know what league it is, fair enough, but he's gone to Dortmund and he's bagging in goals in Dortmund straight away. He hit the ground running. So what's to say he can't come?
But that's the thing. It's
Chelsea.
A different league. It's a different league. Bundesliga is so much more open. Like, we've seen this with Havertz and Werner as examples. They've had to adapt differently to it as well. And for Haaland, I think that's why Dortmund, I'll be real, was such a good choice for him. He could have gone to a United, Chelsea, could have gone to anybody in Europe, but he went to the Bundesliga because that was the best league for him to keep growing. And it was a great choice for him. But now you're going into a different league. This is a more physical league. This is a more intense league. And you've got 10 different teams of low blocks as a minimum to deal with. And we haven't seen him deal with that consistently. Like, low-key, I'm going to use the last international game as example as well, because what was it? It was Ireland versus no, not Ireland. It was Norway versus Turkey, and the guy missed 5 big chances that game, and they played 9 at the back in that formation too. And that's just a small little red flag to me. It's not to say that he can't grow to that level or he can't adapt and become an amazing centre forward, because I do see him become that. He would be a great long-term project for us, but I don't think we're looking for anything long-term right now. And I don't think he'd have that patience either, because if we get a Lukaku in, I mean, if we get a Haaland in for 150 million, he has to bang immediately. Otherwise, he's going to be under so much pressure and so much scrutiny from the English media, rival fans. That's going to be the first time he's ever been in that sort of situation. Everyone's saying his mentality is amazing. Yeah, but he ain't been in the Premier League yet. That's going to be the real test for him.
I hear that. I hear that. And it is, is a bit of a risk with Haaland. I'm just so apprehensive with buying players that used to play for us, buying them back. And with Lukaku, I just don't know with Lukaku, man. I really don't know. I think this is down to the board. What do the board actually want? Do they want to build a team for the next 5-6 years and be patient and just get, like, next year, maybe not absolutely challenge, but be right up there and win a cup, or and get a Haaland in that sense?
Oh, do you want a link? I'll send you a link. 1 second, if you want it, I'll send it over.
Yeah.
1 second. What are you saying? What are you saying, Johnny? Anyway, come to me.
Yeah. So if it's down to whether the board actually if they want immediate success, then you'll probably say Lukaku is the better option, in the sense that he knows the Premier League. He can come in and you just let him do what he does. He knows his trade. He's developed his trade. But for me, in the long run, I think if someone else goes and buys Haaland, you ain't going to get Haaland again. You're not. Wherever he goes, you're going to have to pay a lot more money to get him, and he's going to get better and be better. Do you really want to miss out on that opportunity, like missing out on a Havertz? Because I personally don't.
This is the thing, because low-key, I'm thinking Kai Havertz is the better option for us. Even in the last few games that he's been with us for right now, like the movement that he's had, the impact that he's had on Hudson-Odoi and Timo Werner as well when he's been playing next to them. I think him as a centre forward would be a great option for us, and that's where he was at his best for Leverkusen too.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing with playing Kai Havertz false nine, I love him there. I think he's deadly, and he's only going to get better because he's only 21. But to play a whole season like that and maybe only have it, I mean, for me, Timo Werner's not a direct centre forward. He's off the centre forward. So when Kai Havertz isn't playing, how effective is Werner going to be? And we've seen so far how he's great off the ball. He's great with assists and chances, but he just does not finish. We need someone like Tammy or Giroud to be in that centre forward position if Kai Havertz isn't playing. And I think Giroud's going to go. Is Tammy up to it? I think Tammy's a great squad player, but he's not someone who right now you're going to say, yeah, we've got Tammy, we're going to go and challenge for the league. You go and buy a Harry Kane, you go and buy a Lukaku, you go and buy a Haaland, the whole conversation changes. And yeah, you look serious.
Yeah, but we look serious. The only question is those low blocks. That's why it's so hard to figure this out, because you need a player that could fix that. Yeah. Low key, that's why I feel Kai Havertz should be there, because he's now adapting anyway, and we can see the changes. Yeah. So for me, I'd rather we just keep going with that. Really and truly, we need a DM more. Potentially need a winger more, but that depends on who goes out. Because I think if we go and get another winger, Hakim Ziyech has to leave first. It's either that, potentially a centre-back too. I've heard rumours that we're looking for a big centre-back as well. There's just other names that we still need to figure out for that too. It's just up front, if we're buying another striker, especially after all the hype for Timo Werner, because same way, if we do this, we just say Timo Werner hasn't fully worked out well for us as the lone striker role. And that's just admitting it. So if we go and get a striker, we need to get the finished product. That's why we need to get somebody that we know can bang goals immediately. Haaland can do that. It's just, I don't think he's going to do as much that everybody thinks he's going to do. Everyone expects a 20, 30 goal season from him. And to be honest, like, that's just a madness if you're looking at the way Havertz and Werner have come into the Premier League and had to adapt. So that's why I just don't want people getting too hyped about it, especially when it's £153 million. Like, do you know how much money we've spent on players recently, and then we're going to go and spend 150 on another player, and we're not even sure if he's going to adapt immediately?
But
Like,
Lewis,
that's mad.
They want 153 million or whatever it is, 152, right? But he's got, I think he's only got what, a year left or 2 years on his contract or something. He's not got a long contract with them. So next year, if he stays and next year he doesn't,
next year he's got a 62 million release clause. That comes
I
out.
mean, so
62 million. That's different. Like, if we're talking Erling Haaland for 62, I'll be like, cool, we can deal with the year or two of him needing to adapt. That's fine. It's 150 million where it's like, no, we need an immediate response. We need him to come in and start banging immediately. And that's what I'm not so sure about. Big up Artem with the donation as well, saying Roman's spending last summer showed he's ready to win again. I think he'll spend 150 million on Haaland because he will not get him next summer. I'd agree with that if it's not the case for everybody else too, because we just said we need to go and get a centre back and we need to get a DM too. And we might even be looking for a winger. So 150 million on one striker, and then we all have to look for those other three options potentially as well. That's where I think, really? Like, are we going to do that?
You got Giroud will go. You'll have Barkley go. Potentially Loftus-Cheek might go. Emerson might go. You might sell a Jorginho. Like, you're going to sell players. Players are going to go. We're not going to keep the players we've got, so we will generate some sort of revenue. We might generate 100 million's worth or a bit more, which would essentially cover the Haaland deal. And then there's no financial fair play, so Roman can literally go and splash as much as he wants. And it's down to how good Mourinho's going to be, because Mourinho's got to be on fire to not only buy the players and get the good deals, but also sell the players and get decent money. We've got Bakayoko as well. We need to get rid of. We've got Drinkwater to get rid of. Like, even if it's not a lot of money, like 20 million, 30 million here and there, it all adds up, and their wages off the books will free up a lot more funds to go for your Haalands, a Kessie, your Donnarummas, or whoever you want to go and buy. So I'm not too worried about the money. I think I'm more, has he got the mentality to come into Chelsea, which is the next levels above Dortmund, and have that price tag on his shoulders? Because when we bought Drogba's and Costas, they didn't have these crazy price tags. They weren't cheap, but they didn't have that pressure. You know, you look at like all the other strikers we've had, like the Maratas and that, they can't take it. They still went for decent money then, but I just feel like even Havertz, man, he's like, what we spent, I think it was under 80 million, but still a lot of money for us to spend. He's our record, and he just doesn't. It doesn't affect him. You know, he's 21. He's got that German mentality of like, you can see the qualities there, and once he settles, he's going to deliver. So if someone like Havertz can do it, then maybe a Haaland can. I mean, I just don't think you pass on Haaland. I know what you're saying. I just wouldn't pass on him. And I think he, in a year's time, even, like, I'm happy for him to wait a year. It's whether it's down to the board. If the board are going to play silly buggers and literally go like, no, you have to win.
But you'd rather wait a year for 62 million?
No, I'd rather a year for him to settle, I'm saying.
Okay. So you take the year of settling.
Yeah, because next year for 62 million, everyone's going to be after him. And he'll probably go to Real Madrid or he'll probably go Real Madrid or a Bayern, you know. Whereas we've got like the Havertz saga, we've got the opportunity right now. I don't think he suits the profile striker of Pep Guardiola. I just don't think he does. So I'm not so sure. Plus, they've never spent over like 70 odd million. So what makes us think they're going to go and spend 150 million? I don't think United. I think the project at United and the manager is not tempting enough for Haaland, and I don't see the Glazers spending 150 million. So that kind of wipes them out. The only other team's PSG potentially, who we know they've got oil money.
PSG maybe, but
yeah,
I don't know. Like, their attack is mad enough before you throw Erling Haaland in there. I think it's to a point where do they even need to properly go for Haaland? I'm not really that sure. Like, that
if they fail Champions League, if they say they got Champions League final or semis and they
Yeah,
don't
but
progress,
even if they failed it, would that be because of the attack then? It might
potentially,
be, like
potentially,
potentially, maybe,
yeah.
but if you look at their attack, like I wouldn't be pointing fingers at them, or I still wouldn't be thinking it's their fault and they're not going to be the ones that win us the Champions League. Look at it, it's Icardi, you got Mbappe, Neymar as well. Like you could add Haaland to that, and gets even more ridiculous. But that's an amazing front line in itself. I'm thinking Bayern potentially,
Yeah.
Real Madrid maybe, but they'd have to sell players to do it first.
Well, and they wouldn't be able to do
Manchester
it this
City,
year.
of course, with Chelsea. They said they had 10 suitors, so I'm not really sure if it's just other clubs who even have some sort of an interest.
Yeah, that's Riola.
Yeah,
Just
it's probably about five. It's probably about five who could seriously go for him.
I mean, with Lukaku, we know he's a Chelsea boy, right?
Yeah, and that's another reason why I low-key think it would also work for us as well, because I know Lukaku would stay for the long term. Like I could speak about Raiola and him potentially trying to forge a gap between the club and Haaland if he joined us. But with Lukaku, at least with age, he's around the 28, 29 mark where he's probably looking for a club to stay at for the long term. Erling Haaland, he's continuing to develop. Yeah. He's continuing to grow. So as that happens, all I could see Raiola doing is trying to push more contracts or trying to push another.
That worries me a bit. That worries me, Lewis. And I'll tell you why it worries me, because you go and buy Lukaku and he's 27, 28. You know, in 3 years' time, depending on that, it works. You're going to have to go out in the market and buy another number 9 again. And that other number 9 probably is going to be Haaland in the conversation again. And you're probably going to have to pay double the amount that we would pay this summer. So that's why, for me, I'd rather go for the Haaland now, because as we've seen the way the transfer market inflates so bad and so quickly, and it will when the economy's going to get better. And once it does, you know, you're going to be talking Neymar and Mbappe prices again for a Haaland. And I don't think why should we put ourselves in that position? Roman's got the money now. He's got no cap on how much he should spend because of financial fair play. It's the best opportunity. Let's take advantage of the market. I'd go for Haaland, and look, you can ease him in. Like we said, we can play Kai Havertz false 9. I think Kai Havertz false 9 is going to be deadly anyway, and there'll be a lot of games he'll play false 9, and we can ease Haaland in. Not that he'll want to be eased in; he'll want to hit the ground running. But I just think defenses will be so scared of us, Lewis. They'll be so scared, more scared than Lukaku for me. Because Haaland's just deadly. He's so deadly. And he's young.
He is, but he's deadly in the Bundesliga, and that's what I keep going round to. In the Premier League, he could be an amazing centre forward, and I genuinely see shades of Didier Drogba if he was to adapt to that level. It's just he's going to need that time to do that first. Right now, he is nowhere near as well-rounded as everyone is claiming that he is right now. I agree. Yeah, at the most, he's very clinical. And that also comes into account with the space that he has. And you have to take that into account. In the Premier League, when you're playing your West Broms or your Fulhams or just anybody in the bottom half of the table, and they're putting 9 men behind the ball, I just think it'd be a struggle for him, because aerially, he's not really as good as people give him credit for. He's better than Tammy Abraham is, fine. But like Tammy Abraham is here. So, like, if the bar's in hell, I'm not going to big him up just because he's better than Tammy Abraham in the air. But he's got some decent qualities, but he's not all there in the air anyway. I think in terms of dealing with all the times I've seen Haaland, I've seen him with space in behind for the most part, or with 1 or 2 defenders to deal with. Never with a back line of defenders that he has to try and get through. And that's what the problem is.
I just feel like if you're going for a Lukaku, you want that Drogba type striker. But for me, still not a Drogba type player. Haaland's not a Drogba type player. I think Haaland is a classy lad, classy player. And I think with the right players around him, the Kai Havertzes, the Pulisic's, Adoys, even Ziyech, he's gonna score goals. I just feel with Lukaku, if your mindset is we buy Lukaku because we want to win the league, two leagues over the next 3 years, and he does do that, what a great decision it was. But for me, I feel like Roman wants the best creme de la creme talent in European football playing for Chelsea Football Club to dominate for the next 5 to 10 years. And with Lukaku, you're going to have to replace him in 3 years' time and be looking in the market again. And maybe there will be another striker that comes in. But it's what direction does the club want to go? Like we're seeing by sacking Lampard, we want immediacy. We're not gonna give you time and be patient. So buying a Haaland doesn't back that, does it? Well, buying a Lukaku backs that, but buying a Haaland doesn't back that. Buying a Haaland's like we want to, this is for the future because he's 20 years old. But our whole front line's on an average age of like 21. So who's our shithouse up front? We're relying on a 20-year-old Haaland instead of a 28-year-old Lukaku. So which way do you want to go as a club?
For me,
That's not for us. That's for the club.
Players now, it's we need the experience on top, and
yeah,
it's good to. I'll be real. Having Haaland as well, if he was to develop at the same level that the other players are at the same rate, that would be great for us too. Because then in 2 or 3 years' time, we have an amazing squad that's ready to dominate for years. But I just don't feel like the patience of the fan base is there yet. Like this was the season we were meant to compete for the title. And because of all the stuff that happened with the manager and the players that we already brought in that had to adapt this season, there's already been like a massive amount of impatience. That's why you saw so much stick towards Frank Lampard towards the end of his reign, because everyone expected us to be title contenders and we weren't, and it all got put on him. If we bring in Erling Haaland to push us up to a title contender level and we aren't doing it because he needs to adapt, all the pressure goes on to him too. And everyone says mentality monster and everything like that. Yeah, because he's been on an upward trajectory his entire career. Let's see what happens when he makes that first downward spiral. Does he come back up? Does he stick in a bad spot for a while? It's all speculation, but we haven't seen that happen to him yet.
But I never thought we'd challenge this year. I think it's ridiculous to think we'd challenge this year. I know the signings were big.
We would challenge, but we would drop off to City or Liverpool earliest out of all three of them.
Well, like United,
I thought we'd be around them.
Where United are.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. That's what I thought we would be. Like, I never thought we were going to win the league this season. I thought we were contending, and we drop off. That's fine. But we didn't even get to that.
Yeah. I think the problem, one of the biggest problems in our side is we do not have enough goals from midfield. So in the system we're playing, we've got Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, and Gilmour, right? There's no goals there. So the only goals you're getting is from Mount, really, from midfield. We need another player, whether that's Kai Havertz as well, who's going to score from midfield if you have a Haaland. We need goals from midfield. We saw it with Lamps, Ballax, we and even Essien. We got goals from midfield, and sometimes when your front line's not firing, you rely on your midfield to get you goals or to break the deadlock in games, and we haven't got that in our locker, and that for me is an area we need to improve on. Whether it's the system that's making us starve in that department, I don't know, but I don't doubt for 1 second if Tuchel got Haaland, he would get everything out of that kid. And he would with Lukaku as well.
For me with Haaland, like I keep dropping this the entire time that it will happen in time. If we got Haaland, I think 2-3 years down the line, he is that striker that everyone expected him to be. But for me, that's 2-3 years time, and I don't think we have the patience for that, and that's where my problem is.
Yeah, but that would be a problem with we're annoyed with the board then, because that's the board. I mean. They just want immediacy.
It's the board, but it's the fan base too, because I've seen so many fans on Timo Werner's neck this season, and for half of it is fair. Like most big chances missed in the Premier League, that's completely understandable, and I get that. Yeah. But that's why Erling Haaland is going to come in with so much expectation on his head, because he's going to be the one to take us away from that.
Yeah,
and that's where the problem is for me too.
I don't think you doubt either, Liz. Werner's going to bag goals next season. I think he will. I don't doubt Werner's going to come good. There's a lot of the fan base, probably about 80% of the Chelsea fan base, who think, no, we should just, cash in on him and sell him. But I look at his all-round game. His all-round game has actually contributed to a lot of our goals. He's got really high assists. All he's lacking is just goals for himself. And I think that will come once he's adapted. And let's see how he gets on to the end of the season. I think he gets 1, 2, 3 goals. We're going to see a different Werner. a different Timo Werner altogether. So
I hope so, but we said that about the Newcastle goal, and like not much has changed. If anything has changed, it's because Kai Havertz has been in the team and he's been able to give himself more space as a result of that.
I just don't doubt him next. I think next year he's going to come good. Add a Haaland in the mix with Havertz. It's a dangerous lineup, very dangerous.
Hopefully.
And one thing we all know, when we had Drogba's and Costa's, defense was scared of us. They make mistakes. They overthink because of who they're facing. And we haven't had that fear for quite a long time right now. We haven't had that. Teams don't fear us like they used to.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're all good.
My bad.
Drop the StreamYard link now as well for anyone else who wants to drop in. Big up everyone who's already running. First off, Dag, chat to me. Lukaku. Yeah, we can hear you. We're all good. Drop the StreamYard link now as well for anyone else who wants to drop in. Big up everyone. Yo, just want to mute that, please. But go on, Dag.
Yeah,
Big up, Dag.
I mean, big up everyone on the panel. My man Johnny woke up today and he chose sense, man. He chose sense.
Oh, you like it?
Everything he's saying is made like it's on point. Like it's. Remember when we heard news that we were after Havertz, right? We looked at our team and we're like, why would we need him? We have about 3 attacking midfielders. There isn't a real need for this player, and yet we went out and splashed $72 million on him, right? So if we're looking at this Haaland deal, it's even more important now because I don't think he's going to Real. I don't think he's going to Bayern. I don't think he's going to Barca. I think he's coming to Chelsea or he's coming to City. I think he's coming to the Premier League because it's like there's this mentality that, Johnny, you've been talking about it with Mason Mount and everything. But the mentality of Haaland is like no other. It's literally unrivaled, right? If you look at a player that sees what Mbappe is doing in PSG, right, and he sees how so they're not really giving him the credit he deserves because he's in PSG and he's playing in a farmers league, right? So if he wants to really make a name for himself and really back the type of player that he is, you come to the Premier League and you do the dirty work. If you look at Luis Suarez, the reason why I consider him one of the greatest is because he never went into Ajax he jumped straight into the Liverpool side, right? And it's just he had that mentality to go all out for it, even at a young age. And for me, I don't see.
So you don't rate players that go to Premier League?
Lukaku, it's great even at a young age, but I feel like what's the point?
You don't rate.
I'll ask you a question.
What's the point in getting him now? And then 2 years' time, we're going to need to get another striker.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Who is going to?
Question,
if we're going to wait 2 years, if we're going to have 2 years of Lukaku, right? That means in these next 2 years, either a young striker has to completely explode in order for us to have the interest in him, or it's going to be another young striker that has just come out. So it's a matter of we
don't really that many strikers out there right now, man.
Who's to say Lukaku would only be banging for 2 years? Look at his build.
There's not many.
He's not the type of guy that'll be banging for 2 years
right now.
I'm talking in a sense of if you look at the physicality of the game, right? And as players get older, they pick up injuries. And the way that the way that we may try to play next year in a 4-3-3 role, you're gonna put Lukaku all on his own, right? So you're gonna need him to do a lot on his own as your number 9. Right? In order for him to do that, he's going to need to stay healthy. He's going to need to stay fit, and there needs to be proper rotation.
But I think at the same time, Tuchel might not play that system because if you see the system he played at PSG, he played a 4-2-4. So he had Icardi and Mbappe up front, and then he had Neymar on the wing, and then he had Di Maria on the right hand side, and he played 2 in midfield. So I think he might try implement that in going into our next season. I don't think he'll stick with this formation of just having one striker up front.
The only reason he sticks with this formation is we don't have a DM. Because we don't have an actual DM sitting, he has to play the pivot. He has to.
With the PSG team, he needed to find a formation that could fit all 4 of his attackers, right? We don't really need that formation now because we have our midfield is we have too much depth in our midfield to only play with 2 midfielders. Right?
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Which is why you see what's his name, Mason playing in the attacking front, and you see him playing all over the pitch, and you see Callum and them playing on the right wing back role because we don't really need to have like 5 attacking positions because all of our players can move around and can play in different positions. Unlike
I think the problem is we need to evaluate our options. So I don't think, listen, if we don't get Haaland, which is, it's a 50-50. I don't think but we need to evaluate our other options right now in the market.
We're gonna be stuck with Warner, bro.
Because right now there's not many world-class strikers. Like that's something we have in the current era. That's a massive problem. Like a decade ago, you would have found at least 15 elite strikers. Right now we have but like 5 max. You get me? Yeah. So right now I was just trying to check up on
I only see Kane and Haaland as the top ballers.
Lewandowski, come on.
Yeah, but Lewandowski's like 30, going on 34. I mean,
but he scored like.
Yeah, but he's still top.
No, I'm not saying he's not top, but we're talking about who we're going to go.
In terms of options, I get you in that regard.
I get that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So right now we need to look into the market. We need to look at the strikers with the highest conversion rates.
Yeah.
And right now,
this is not like. Let's be perfectly honest, right? Chelsea's not going to sign some 34-year-old striker.
Yeah, of course.
They're not. Yeah. We're not. They're not going to sign some 30-year-old striker. They're not. They're simply not. They're too old. That's too old. We don't need them for right now. We have options that we can put in. We have Havertz that can fill in that number 9 role. If you're not going to come in as an all-around number 9,
listen, we want to win. We want to win right now, right? If we go by the option people are saying, which is let's get Haaland and wait 3 years. That'll be what, 8 years since we won the league last?
But Daniel, I don't think
Haaland.
Yeah.
No one has said wait 3 years.
That's what it's going to say.
Why is everyone acting like Haaland will take?
That was the
Haaland won't take 3 years.
Exactly.
Haaland's like already
Haaland,
striker.
Why is everyone acting like
guys? Haaland came from 2 leagues in 1 season.
We have history.
He changed. Daniel. He changed from one in 1 season. He went to 2 different clubs and banged almost 40 goals.
Exactly,
right?
man. That's insane.
So why can't he come to Chelsea?
Look at the CEO, man.
Hold on. Why can't he go to Chelsea?
Okay, let him finish.
Why can't he go to guys? Why can't he go to Chelsea? All right, and play with players like we know our front line who all had a year now under their belt playing together. Okay, or half a season playing together actually in games, but they've had a year of settling in London with Chelsea to introduce Haaland into that mix. I don't see it being a problem. I think we will challenge. Whether we go all the way is questionable. That we don't know, but we will challenge, and that's what Chelsea want, is to challenge. But going on from after next season, we have to go and win it. So really, you're looking at a 1 year settling period where we're going to challenge, which is fine by me. Okay,
yeah, I agree with that.
And then the year after, you go and win it.
Yeah.
So rather than go and get a Lukaku, all right, you go and pay 80 million for a Lukaku. You might. I'm not saying you're definitely going to win the league next year. I still don't think just buying a Lukaku and a Haaland makes you win the league. You still had to add in a DM and maybe a centre back. All right, but at least you're more potent up front. You're still going to be in that discussion, that conversation of challenging, but not being actual, serious contenders to win it next season. So you might as well go for Haaland.
I'm not expecting to win the league next year, but anyway, man. Even if we get Haaland, I'm not expecting to win the league.
Chelsea need to buy Lukaku though. I'm not entertaining this idea of getting Lukaku.
Exactly.
We don't need to buy Lukaku, but there aren't that many options out there. Because Lukaku, Haaland, and then Kane. Legit, that's the only 3 options that are most viable right now.
Wait. Whoever said no to Lukaku, I want to hear why.
Lukaku was just like Werner fam with his first touch.
That's the old Lukaku, bro. That's the old Lukaku, man.
People can disrespect Lukaku's first touch and all that, but nothing. You can say all of that, but he's a goal scorer. That's something we don't have right now, and we need that.
Yeah, but with low blocks, guys,
I don't want Lukaku.
Low blocks and Lukaku being starved. I'm not so sure.
Johnny, I don't know if you've seen, but Lukaku has done this against low blocks as well.
Have you been watching Lukaku this season?
Bro, the guy went to the CO. Relax, man. He went to the CO. He went to the CO.
Lukaku plays predominantly in a counter-attacking side.
No.
Conte's counter-attacking, bro.
Not in Italy. Not in Italy. they're not. In Italy,
everyone
yeah, and it's a slower league, guys. It's a
plays
much
with
slower
a
league.
partner.
it's a more defensive league. It's a more defensive league.
Johnny,
Exactly.
Lukaku has played at Everton. He's played at West Brom. He's recognized in the Premier League, and I've seen him play against low blocks. I remember when he played against us, and he absolutely destroyed us when he was playing at Everton. I don't know if anyone remembers.
I don't dispute that, guys. But what I'm saying is, why go and spend 80? He's not going to be cheap. Let's have it right. He's going to be expensive.
I think he's going to be more than 80 million. Antonio Conte will not want to sell it.
Right. So
him.
why would do you think Roman's going to go?
You're talking about getting
I'm going to go and buy
Lukaku,
Lukaku, who's already played for us. All right. I'm going to go and spend another 90, 100 million when I can spend an extra 40. Probably Mourinho will get Haaland for about 130. I can spend an extra 30 million and get a 20-year-old who's going to be ceilings above.
I'm not saying I'm not saying we should get Lukaku, but we're evaluating our options right now because there's not that many better goal scorers than Lukaku right now. You're going to struggle to find me 3 better goal scorers than Lukaku or 4 better goal scorers than Lukaku right now.
I agree. There's not many out there. We've said Lewandowski, Lukaku, Haaland. They're the 3.
And Harry Kane.
Harry Kane. Yeah.
Quick question.
But Harry Kane's not coming Chelsea, so forget Harry Kane. Forget him. He's never going to come Chelsea. He'll never come. So and look, level whatever. You're not going to buy him because he's too old. So you've only got Lukaku and Haaland if you want that profile striker. Now, if it's me and money's no object this season, which it is going to be no object in the summer with no financial fair play, you go and spend your 150 million and you go and buy the elite.
Come on, Monster. Shout out to Monster FC, man. Shout out to him, bro. Come on, Monster, man. You know how it gets.
I agree.
Where's Monster, bro? Oh, there he is. Yeah.
I agree with Johnny, bro. You do all you can to bring Haaland to the bridge, bro. He's that kind of player that he's gonna score goals. I know people think like, oh, you know, he still kind of needs chances created for him, but our issues when it comes to created chances is not personnel. Like we've got Hakim Ziyech, who's a creator. We've got Hudson-Odoi. We've got Salzburg managed to create chances for Haaland. Dortmund are managing to do it. We have personnel that can do it too.
Exactly. So if we can't do it,
just because we're not creating chances right now, that doesn't necessarily mean when Haaland gets here, it's going to be the same. Because it's
do you know what we need? We need guys. We need like a Hasselbank. Shout out to Monster because I sent him a.
Let me just say this. Let me
DMG say this, Monster that compilation. But Hasselbank, bruv, we need a player like that, man. He scores goals all over the place.
Can I say something real quick? Yeah.
All over the place.
I feel like our fullbacks here can give us what's called. We can actually get now the likes of Reece James when actually crossing the ball into the box. We actually have someone who can actually head a ball, man. Because I feel like Tammy Abraham.
I'm not confident with Chilwell going into next season. I'm going to be very honest. Like I've never been confident with Chilwell. Even when we first got linked with him, I had never wanted him for 50 mil. And obviously, right now from our performances, I don't think he's
It's your hair, man. That's
justified having fulfilling.
Chilwell is the least of your worries, man.
I mean, he's
left wing back role. He definitely wasn't worth. He probably wasn't worth the money.
We're not playing
he's a steady, good, decent left back that we could win the league with him in our side. So I think we need to worry about maybe a centre back, maybe a DM striker. Like Chilwell, we're just gonna have him.
Obviously, yeah.
I want to see DM
be in our side. We just got to get used to it because I don't think we're ever going to replace him for a long time.
With the all Haaland thing, someone asked, why are we saying it's going to take him 3 years? Why are we saying it's going to take him 1 year to settle in? It didn't take because Lukaku was been in the league and he scored.
We're not winning the league next season, though.
Why not?
Let me finish.
I don't
Lukaku scored 25 goals in this league. Lukaku scored 18 goals, 17 goals. He's done it. So I would rather give him for 80 million, who we know he's going to get.
He won't go for 80 million.
Because here's the thing. We have to win.
He will go for around that price.
But that's the whole thing. We have to win next season. We have to win.
We're not winning the league next season. We're winning it next season.
Chuchu has
Daniel, we're not going to challenge. We're going to challenge, but we're not going to
challenge. We're going to challenge.
Yeah, we're going to challenge, but we're not.
Yeah, we have to
has a 1-year contract, right? After this, Chuchu has a 1-year contract after this, right?
Yeah.
He'll obviously get a new deal if he does cement us in the top 4.
Mate, if he goes and wins Champions League, guys, or an FA Cup and gets the top 4, all right, and then next year he challenges and there's progression, and we might win another cup, then of course he's gonna get a year extension.
Bro, you're waffling, Daniel, man. We're not winning the league next season, man. Like he's challenging. No, he won't. No, he won't, man. This for me, yeah. For me, what's called next season, I would like to see us challenge, have a style of play, and actually win a trophy. I want to see us do things like actual progression, man, towards. And maybe after next season, we can win the league, man. That's when we have to win the league, man. Stop acting.
$150 million or 150 million pounds on one striker. You think he's gonna say, "Well, let's have fun"?
Bro,
no,
that's how much it costs to buy a generational talent, bro. I'm sorry.
Generational
talent, man.
Daniel, listen, bro. Would you pass on Havertz? Would you have passed on Havertz in the summer? Would you have passed on Havertz? And the answer is no. Exactly. So why should we pass on Haaland?
I also don't want to collect all the generational talent.
Hold on. Time out, real quick.
Let's figure out how to get Havertz going. Let's figure out how to get Werner going.
What's wrong with your mic, bro?
Let's do that.
Yo, what's wrong with your mic?
Yo, we can't hear you. Mic is mad, bro. What's going on?
Bro, you sound like you're what's called in the Matrix, man. Do you know what the hell is that, man?
What was your point, bro?
Yeah, bro. Listen. Right. I don't even know why this is a question. Right. Go look at the odds for who's most likely to sign Erling Haaland. It's not Bayern. It's not City. It's not Real. It's not Barca.
It's all the English clubs.
Give me a sec. It's Chelsea and it's City. Okay, this is not a Havertz type thing where he was looking to go to Bayern and maybe we would have to face him.
Real Madrid as well.
Maybe we'd have to face him once a year.
Real haven't got the money.
This is a player that we're going to have to see 3, 4, 5 times a year. I don't want to play the man. I don't want to give him the opportunity to beat us. So we buy him so we can punish them. It's that simple.
We can keep it for 10 years straight, man.
Hold on. This is a business, right? You don't make decisions trying to win trophies. You make decisions trying to make sure other people don't win it, right?
Yeah, I would disagree with that.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, bro.
Let me give you an example. Right? If you look at what's called Manchester United, right? Once they let go of Berbatov, right, and they were looking to get a new striker, instead they could have gone outside of the Premier League and they could have gotten whoever they wanted. They were at the top of their game. Instead, who do they get? They get Van Persie from Arsenal, right? So they steal their best player from a rival, and then they go on to win the league right after that, right?
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, but right now we have no one in the league that's even half what Van Persie was back then. There's no strikers right now in the league. You look at Liverpool; they have no strikers that are firing for them. Look at Man City. Man City have no.
Liverpool don't. They play with that false nine. So does City. So for me, City and Liverpool. I'm not saying they wouldn't take a Haaland, but the profile that Haaland doesn't suit them. The only team that I see that has the money and it would suit them is Manchester United, but I don't think the Glazers will go and spend that money.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is not going to make Haaland work, man. I'm sorry, man. That team's style of football is a shambles. Just going to say that. Haaland can look at that. Haaland can look at that, man, and just look at them. Watch them play football, man.
When we signed Havertz, right?
Yeah.
When we initially signed him for 72 mil, going into the season, our whole thing was build around Havertz, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, potentially, as a full start.
Realistically, who are the managers of the clubs that you just said? It's Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, two of the biggest tacticians in the world, right?
Yeah.
So to say that they're going to splash 150 million and then not build their team around that player, I completely disagree. If they won't do it.
No, they won't.
Team around the player. I completely disagree.
They won't. What I'm saying to you is they won't. They've got their style of play. They've got their philosophy
I disagree
already
with
set
that.
out.
I feel like
wait, hang on, Tony. You know why? Yeah, you look at Liverpool right now. One thing I know for sure, Klopp is not going into the next season with the same system he's using right now.
Yeah, Klopp is going to change.
Right now, they need a complete resurgence in the front line. Obviously, Salah, if you look at him, he's still scoring for them. He's still firing, but he's the only one firing.
They've just had injuries, bruv. They've had their best centre back.
No, that's not the only reason why they're in the position where they're at right now.
Fabio played that position. Listen, when all those players are back fit, do not think that Liverpool are going to be like this season.
They won't.
No, they won't.
But they need to win the league. That's
you know why?
Liverpool system. Let me say this.
Say it. Go
For
on,
me,
Billy.
yeah. For me, I agree with Johnny about the injuries because what's called. I feel like Van Dijk, yeah, and Gomez gave the fullback the security of not pushing, also not pushing forwards no more, man. They can't. Trent and Robertson, they can't push forward like they used
They
to.
can't press how they normally
but guys,
press.
No,
guys,
you can see
And
my
the
bit
midfield.
high.
Obviously,
like-
the injuries have affected Liverpool. No one's saying it hasn't. But still, when you win the league, you go into the next season and teams figure out how to stop you. You still have to update your system and change certain things.
Yeah, they were
Teams
shit
have
at the beginning of the
clocked
season.
how
I
to
can't
beat
lie.
Liverpool this season. Injuries or not, when all these players come back into the side, they still need to find creativity in the midfield. They still need to get the best out of Firmino. Mane has fallen off a cliff. They have to do different things. They're not going to play the same way they play.
They don't
And
listen.
it's not even
As we
just
know,
that.
guys,
They're
as we
mentally
know,
and
good
physically
quality players don't just turn shit overnight. Okay.
Yeah, but
Let's have
that's
it
not what
right.
we're trying to
Yeah.
say. Look,
Yeah,
mentally,
but you are saying that because
No, we're not.
Liverpool next season, I tell you this now, they will be back up there. They got Jota
Nah,
as well
they're
there.
not.
We're not disagreeing.
Alcantara, who's
We're
already
not
going to
disagreeing with
settle.
that, man.
That's
Not
my
disagreeing
point.
with
They
that.
will
We
be
never
up there. They're a
No one
dangerous
said they
side.
won't. No one said
No
they
one's
won't.
saying
that they
that's
won't.
what we're trying to say.
They're not going to go and spend 150 million on Haaland. City
They
will
won't.
not go and
They won't.
spend 150 million
They
on Haaland. They will not do it. They'll
I don't
go
know
and
about
buy
might not.
Dybala. They'll go and buy a
disagree.
Felix if they're going to spend that sort of
So
money.
you
That's
saying
the
you
profile
saying it's a
player.
one-horse race then? It's just us in the hunt.
It's us
No.
or PSG or United potentially.
PSG won't get Johnny.
Okay, can I
fair
say
enough.
something? Can I say something? I'd say for Haaland at the end of the season, I feel it's Chelsea, Man City, and only the two because Barca is broke. They're more than $1 billion in debt.
Yeah, we know
Real Madrid
Barca
didn't sign anyone last
Johnny, let him
season,
speak. Let me speak.
and they already said that they can't sign anyone at the end of the season. Bayern was struggling to even sign Sane. Now, how are they going to fork out 150 something million for Haaland? It's impossible. Basically, it's only PSG. There's a problem with the TV deal and all of that. So all of the clubs are struggling with money. So basically, the only people that have the money are City and Chelsea.
No, United have money. Believe me, don't believe me.
United couldn't even pay for Sancho.
They've got a
It's
lot
the
of
team.
money.
It's the team.
No, they
It's the
didn't
team,
want
though.
to.
Haaland won't look at that team.
Listen,
You know, United. I got my mate. Yeah, my
Let him
mate's
speak, bro. Let him
close in the
speak, man.
club,
Let him
bruv.
speak.
United, you say, but he's very close in the club, and they easily could have spent 100 million on Sancho. They easily could have done it.
I agree with that. United do have money,
but they didn't want to be held to ransom like that because they're Manchester United. They didn't want it.
But it's still Dortmund though that they'll be dealing with.
Dortmund, man.
So what will change?
Dortmund are not in the
They're
same
more
financial
price
position.
possession.
Because as we know, if a club wants a player, if a club wants a player, they'll put the money down and money talks. All right.
But they could have done that last year, though. They could have done that last year.
No, but they didn't. They didn't want to.
Their ego was too high.
Last year was unforeseen circumstances, Kazi. We didn't know what was going to happen now. Up to now, we didn't know. But now we know there's no financial fair play. Now we know the positions of all the other clubs in Europe. You're in it. Look, it's a buyer's market now. All right. It's a buyer's market as well as a seller's market. So the teams that are selling know they can ask for like a player like Haaland. You can ask for 150 million. All right. Doesn't mean you're going to get 150 million. Because if Dortmund don't get top four, they can't be demanding stupid money like that, right?
They will get top four.
If they don't,
I don't think so. They're not looking at
Chelsea, we know we've got the money, all right. Dortmund know we've got the money. Dortmund know that United have got money, and they know that City have got money. It doesn't mean that these clubs are going to put that money down. There are tactics in the game. There are negotiations in the game that go down that we don't see. All right, that affect things as well.
Yeah, but
so you've got to understand that whoever it's also what the player wants, but money talks. If Chelsea go and put down 130 million, and City say I'm only putting down 110, all right, but we're definitely going to challenge next year. Chelsea is saying we're building a project. Where do you think Haaland's going to go? Haaland's going to go where the more money is. It's simple. It's football.
I don't think so. I think right now,
it's all money, mate. It's all money. It's all money.
You can say that. You can say that, but right now, you look at Haaland's mentality. His mentality is not just money. He wants to win trophies.
Yeah, but he's 20 years old. He's got.
It's like Ronaldo.
Age doesn't matter when it comes to these profile players.
The guy's got 12 years. He can go. He can go to Chelsea.
He doesn't want to wait 12 years.
He can go to Chelsea and earn the most money. Hold on, he can go to Chelsea, earn the most money, right? And be part of a fantastic young side that's going to challenge in 2 years' time, we're going to go and win a title, right? Okay, and then he can move on to a Real Madrid after that. Okay,
that's not what he wants now.
Honestly,
that's not
Johnny,
what he wants now.
What I think right now, people are seeing the rate he's scoring in the Champions League and the rate he's scoring. They're comparing him to players like Mbappe. Mbappe's won the World Cup. He's won league titles already. He's already got that stuff under his belt. If Haaland has a choice between City and Chelsea, I honestly think he picks City.
No. I don't think he does.
I think the difference is City are not. I don't think they're going to be prepared to pay 150 million. Whereas Chelsea,
Haaland's not a pet player, guys. He's not a pet player. He's not a pet player. He's not.
So what?
He's not a pet player, bro.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Look at his conversion rate.
You don't understand with City, yeah? City, they do everything that Pep wants. If Pep says to them, I want this player, they'll go and get him that player.
And who are you to say that Pep doesn't want him?
So, are you saying the same thing about Messi back when he was there?
Pep will look at a Dybala. He'll look at a Felix type player. He'll look at a Martinez type player. They're the players that suit Pep's system. Why is he going to go and buy a Haaland that doesn't suit his system?
But Johnny,
that doesn't make any sense.
Johnny, that doesn't go against what I've said. What I've said is it's up to City. If City want to go and get him, I think he chooses City.
Oscar,
that's what I'm saying.
But they won't. They won't pay that money. They won't.
Again, who are you to say that?
He's not a pet player, bro. It's clear as day. It's clear as day.
Johnny, I think we're forgetting the most important part, which is, all right, I don't care how much hate I'm going to get for this, but, I mean, let's go ahead. Let's just dive into it, right?
Go on.
Come on.
Wait. Super chat.
Dag, stop, because you're going to make a big point and everyone's going to go off. So let me read the super chat first before you do that. So Howard says Calvert-Lewin as a potential third option.
No. I've been thinking for 5 minutes. Can they stop with that?
Forget Lewin, bruv. He's not the levels we want.
We got Artem as well saying winning a title next year is a reach. Definitely should challenge. Finish second, be off first place by no more than 6 points.
Yeah.
Majority of the Man City team has been together 4 to 5 years. They're going to be tough to catch. Yeah. I think contenders is what we should be looking for.
Competing. Anyway. That's all I want for next season. As long as we compete, as long as we're second competing, or 6 points behind.
Players that come to our club, they want to see. It's not just about the money, but it is about the money because we're in football. It's all about the money. But the bottom line is Chelsea are building. We have got a very exciting team. Pep, we don't know how long Pep's going to be there. If Pep doesn't go and win a Champions League in the next 2 years, do you really think Pep's going to still be there, bruv? I just can't see it. He's been there 5 years.
I understand that.
If you look at it from Haaland, if Haaland goes to City and then Pep leaves in a year's time, who are they going to get in that's going to be anywhere near levels of Pep? You know, and then he's stuck at City.
We don't know if we're going to win the Champions League.
There's no certainty.
No, we've got players, bruv. Look at our players.
They've got players as well.
But Kevin De Bruyne's 28, right? He's going
exactly. So that means he's
in his prime.
He's in his prime.
Yeah.
Johnny's a waffler, man. I told you.
Aguero's gone.
Yeah, he's replacing Aguero.
Haaland is replacing
Aguero level. Right? Pep said wherever he goes, he's taking Bernardo Silva, so he's going to take him out the side.
Pep's not good yet. You just assume.
No, but I'm saying he won't be there for as long as you'll think he will be. Is what I'm saying.
That's irrelevant, though. My point
is very relevant. If I'm a player and I'm going to sign for a club and sign a 5-6 year
how long do you think Tio's going to be here for? How long do you think Tio's going to be here for?
If that's the case, then why would you sign for Chelsea?
Abramovich, man.
Same thing. You don't know how long he's going to be there.
It's the players you're playing with, bruv. It's the players you're playing with.
And City have better players.
We've got Havertz. We got Pulisic, we got De Bruyne,
Phil Foden, Cancelo, Kevin De Bruyne.
So Johnny, going by what you just said, why didn't Havertz and Werner sign for us? Why didn't Havertz, Werner, Ziyech sign for us? If Frank Lampard was going to stay that long,
they didn't know that Frank was going to get signed.
Every player that's Johnny, every player that's signed for Chelsea this summer knew there was a possibility of Lampard going out the door. Come on, we all knew that.
No, for 1
everybody
second,
knew
Lampard
that.
was going.
It's Ibrahimovic, bro. It's Chelsea, man. It's Chelsea.
Guys, time out.
No chance.
Vitmus, what's your thoughts?
Yo, before me even go too far, the man them have to respect the channel and respect Lewis and respect the channel. You get me, I say? This is a talk show, so everybody have to get an opportunity to talk. We know how football can be when you get your vibe and you talk. You can't control it, but we have to respect other people that trying to put their opinion out there as well. We can't hug the mic. You get what I say?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I've been listening to you guys for the last maybe 15, maybe almost 20 minutes, yeah? And you know me and Johnny, me like Johnny, and you know me and Johnny always kind of agree on certain things, but coming to the Haaland situation, it's all about where Haaland chooses to go. You get what I say? And who pays the more money, because I think Manchester City have the money to pay for Haaland, bro. You get me? They can get him, and if Pep wants him, they're going to buy him, because if you look at the situation at Manchester City, they don't have that infam Aguero that has been taking him across the line for the last 3 seasons. So it don't matter if Haaland is not a Pep player, but he's a guy that can score goals. So if Pep don't win the Champions League this season, then I'm sure he's going to add a striker that can help him to win the Champions League. Someone who will notch those extra few goals that they need. Because, Aguero is going. I'm a Brazil fan. Jesus is not the best number 9. But who is the best striker now to help Manchester City? Just like Chelsea. Chelsea need a new Diego Costa and a new Drogba, which is Haaland. So every club that needs a striker are going to try to get that guy. I don't think Real Madrid are going to go for him, because they already invested in Jovic, and they're going to try to have him back next season to see if he can work or not. But as Caleb said, it's between Chelsea and Manchester City. It's not impossible for United to get him either, because we must remember that the managers speaks the same language as Haaland. So, and to Haaland, freaking Solskjaer is a freaking legend. So it can go either ways. It's just who comes up with the most money.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Wonderful point.
Or a better project.
The point I was trying to make earlier, right, is look, the time of Ronaldo and the time of Messi is it's coming to an end.
It's done. It's done, bro.
It's already ended, to be honest.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like, like they have a little bit left in the tank, depending on where they go next year. But for now, we're already moving on into the Mbappe and Haaland debate, right? And look, off of business, strictly business, right? And the amount of media attention that Haaland is going to get over the course of his career, Man City will not think twice, and they will be in the race, right? The point of, does he fit the role? Does he do this? Does he do this? It does not matter when he's bagging this many goals. It simply does not matter. He will fit that system, and Pep will switch his entire system to make it fit, right?
Yeah.
Look at all the attackers that Pep had at Barcelona in that squad, and he made it fit. He switched it up whenever he needed to, and it worked. Whenever he needed to look right now, he couldn't get Gabriel Jesus was struggling early on in the season. So what does he do? He puts a midfielder in a striker position, right? Same way how we're doing with Kai, but he uses He used Gundogan as a number 9 once.
De Bruyne as well. He's done it before.
Exactly. Yep. So it's not a thing where he doesn't fit that role. So I don't think it will work. And Haaland is very motivated. He will do whatever his manager asks of him if he knows that the manager has his best interest at heart. So it's not a matter of can he fit, will he fit? He will fit wherever he goes. That's just a fact. It's not something where we need to that's what I don't understand about this. Is he going to fit in the Premier League? What do you mean? He's scoring. Look at what he did against Sevilla, which is one of the best defensive teams over the last 5 years. They have a consistent manager. They've been able to go far in the Europa League and the Champions League when they needed to. And then he scores what? 2 braces? And he scores 2 braces in 2 games? So it's not. I don't understand.
The bottom line, guys. The bottom line for me is Roman will want Haaland. He will put down the money down on the table, and I don't see. I whether Haaland wants to go City or not. Whoever's put more money down is going to get him.
I genuinely
and Roman will put. He'll beat City. He will not let City win.
I genuinely believe that it
also
all
let's
has
not
to
forget
this
his
Champions
agent
League.
Raiola. So
This Champions League that is about to, this Champions League season that we're about to finish is probably going to be the most important like Champions League season for a while. Because if you look at it, you have players that it's time for them to make decisions. Like you look at De Bruyne. Let's be honest, if they lose in the quarterfinals again, why would De Bruyne stay?
Yeah, of course.
Like why would he stay? He can go to Real and replace Kroos or Modric.
They have a very chance of
what money though?
No, of course. But look,
I get what you're saying though. Yeah.
Once a player says, "I want to leave. This is my transfer request," it's done. His price drops about like half the price. So
yeah, but where would De Bruyne?
Didn't he sign a new contract?
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
He's giving an example.
Okay.
You look at Mbappe with PSG, right? He's trying to get a new contract, and if they don't go far again, there's going to be problems there as well, right? You look at City. If they don't get City as a whole, if they don't get past the quarterfinals, I doubt Pep Guardiola will stay. That's the thing that Johnny's talking about.
Yeah.
When the Champions League, Pep will stay.
Yeah, of course he will. Yeah, he will.
So that's the thing. And if we're able to progress farther than maybe Haaland thought, and he sees, maybe this is a team that if I join, they could end up winning it.
Yeah, absolutely, Bags. If we go and get to a semi-final, to the final, all right, even if we win it or even if we don't win it, all right, and we get to the final, and City only got to the semis, and last year they only got to the semis. What if I'm Haaland, I'm thinking I've got a better chance of going all the way with Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Here's the thing, guys. You guys are saying
you feel like it's a missing piece
through to the semis that he will leave. That I completely disagree with that, because last year in the quarterfinals he got, or was it round of 16s where he got knocked out by Lyon? That was the perfect chance for him to just leave and take a break and go somewhere else. He didn't. He decided to stick with City, and he gave his reasoning as well. He said that his family are all happy at City. He's happy there. He has no reason to leave. The board are backing him, and they put no pressure on him. Instead of asking why he lost, they asked, "All right, what do we have to do next to progress?"
And
then I'm saying, Fabio, if he goes then again and he doesn't win it again, how many more blows are you going to take?
I do get that. But I was saying,
Mourinho had how many blows and how many chances?
Yeah, but when you say
never won it with us.
Mourinho did not have that many chances. If we're actually being honest, Mourinho did not have that many chances. Yes, he had the semi-final, and yes, yeah, exactly. He didn't have that many chances. The chances that Pep's gotten right now.
Also,
he's never got in the final, Marino, with us.
You lot that are saying that if
he's never got in the final.
You lot are saying
he's not had a chance.
He's played against Prime Barcelona, all these other teams, man.
It doesn't matter, Kazi. We had an amazing team. We had an amazing team.
Yeah, but it still, man.
You need to put context into that, though. We weren't the only amazing team out there. We were faced with other amazing teams as well.
Milan, man, Manchester United, man. All those other teams were out there.
Yeah, and look what he did with Inter Milan.
That was a miracle.
Inter Milan, that team was amazing as well.
That was the miracle.
Let's not make. Yeah,
that was
Porto was the miracle.
What I'm saying is he's done it with those teams, all right, and he couldn't do it with Chelsea. And I feel like with Pep, he's done it with Barcelona. He's done it with Bayern Munich. He hasn't done it.
He hasn't done it with Bayern.
Did he not do it with Bayern? All right, so he's done it with Barca.
He did it one team, bro.
And he can't do it with City. There's some sort of stigma there.
The thing with Pep and City, there's nowhere for Pep to go, and there's nowhere for City to go after Pep. If they sack Pep, who they get into? Who's going to win the Champions League?
Exactly.
There's nowhere for them to go. And
that's my point.
Same way, if Pep says to himself, I did it at Barcelona. I didn't win the Champions League at Bayern. I've now gone to City. Where do you go from there? He's not going to go to PSG right now because they've just signed a new coach.
No one can argue right now. Pep is the best
manager.
Yeah, he's the best manager right now in the world.
That's why I think the Haaland thing. If Haaland wants to go and play for the same club his dad played for, the whole Pep situation ain't stopping him. He's going to go.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's down to who progresses.
Yeah.
If Chelsea go and win, if Chelsea go and win the Champions League, we get him. If City go and win the Champions League, they get him. It's simple as that.
If we hadn't even progressed for Atletico, we wouldn't even be in the conversation. I think that's my point. If we hadn't progressed for
I don't think it makes a difference.
Look, you don't listen.
Yes, of course, it makes a difference, bro.
I think we could lose to Porto and still buy Haaland. I don't think it makes a difference.
It makes a difference, bro. Remember, Eden Hazard.
We'll put
I don't know
money
about
down.
total, but I'd say if we
Hazard
lose
had
to
already
Real
signed
Madrid or
before we
Liverpool,
won the Champions League.
No, he
No.
didn't. No, he didn't.
I think he signed after. I swear.
He literally said, announced the next day, I'm signing for the Champions League winner. You don't think the deal was
No,
already in
that's what
place?
I'm saying.
No.
He only signed for Chelsea because we won the champions.
No,
He said
he
he wanted
said-
to play with the champions. That's
He
what
said, I've signed for the Champions League winners. That means the deal had already been done. Like, he didn't just say, oh, if they lose to Bayern, I'm not signing.
No, then he came out and said that he joined Chelsea because they won the Champions League. That's what he said when he came out.
Fair
Of
enough.
course, you don't remember those articles or when he came out, he said.
I remember he tweeted out, like, literally 2 days after we won it, that he wants to sign for the Champions League winners.
Yeah,
and I was
but
like,
that's the winners. Bro,
we
the
were
man
linked with
said
him. We were linked with him
Chelsea
all
winning
summer.
the Champions League was one of the reasons why he joined the club, Bridging. He didn't
Fair
say,
enough.
he said the reason why he joined.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to play with Lampard and all them guys that won the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean,
And also it was his dream club, so it was a perfect opportunity for him to join the club right after us winning the Champions
you know what?
League.
Do you know what, guys? I personally think, City, if they're going to go and spend big, they're better off going for an Mbappe.
Yeah.
No, they can't
That's
afford
never
Mbappe.
happening.
If
though.
they're going to buy any special player and they want a challenge, you go and buy Mbappe, mate.
You know what? Well,
And out of all the clubs in the world
They're
football
never
who's
gonna
got
do
money
that, though.
and the manager,
Johnny,
No.
Johnny, let
do
me
it.
say, Mbappe will not leave unless it's on his own terms. He will not be pried away by any club. He will not be like even. I don't think even Real will be able. Like I think Real may be the only team that may be able to get pry him.
But not now. I'd say 2024 probably, but not now. Not in the financial
He's gonna
situation
have
we're
to
in
fail
right
a
now.
couple more times in the
If
UCL.
go back to
PSG,
Felix, bro.
if PSG
João
don't
Felix is
progress, he's out again of another Champions League. Neymar's not getting any younger. All right. Well, like you got to look at it from Mbappe's point of view.
Yeah, but Johnny, at the same time, no one's got the money to pay for him.
Yeah.
Well, City have. I'm saying City have got the money.
Bro, you
If
understand
they
how
put, if City
contract
go and
he's
put
under.
down 200 million to PSG and they offer him 400 grand a week because they can do it, all right, and
They're
they
not
want to.
going to, though.
I'm gonna
Right.
be honest
They
here.
won't
I
ever
don't
do that.
They,
Man
I
City
think
is not that
Pep.
club, though,
I
Johnny.
think Pep
Johnny?
would go for an Mbappe over a Haaland. Is what I'm saying to you.
I can see that, but at the same
Johnny,
time,
Johnny,
I don't think
Johnny.
that's too realistic
Man
right now.
City isn't that kind of club, though.
So why
They don't spend the 90 million
All
for
right.
just
So why?
one
So why are they a
just
club
one
to go and
player.
spend 150
They
on
don't-
Haaland then?
There might not be, Johnny. There might not be.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you. I don't think they will put money down like that. I just don't think they will.
Listen,
And that's
guys.
why
Yeah.
I'm saying Chelsea in a very strong position. Because the
They
only other
might be
club
in the
that's
mix
got the
with, but
money,
they never, yeah.
the only other club that's got the money and potentially would put the money down, all right? Because I think if United go and get a Haaland and you got a Pogba and a Fernandes, you got a Rashford in that team, and you buy a centre back, they are looking very, very healthy.
Don't forget
Very
coach, man.
healthy.
Don't forget a new coach, man. A new coach. Don't
I'm
forget the
having
new
a hard
coach
time.
part, man.
Because I don't think City will put down 150 million. I just
Don't
don't.
forget
I
the new
don't see them
coach.
doing
I
it.
A new
just don't-
coach.
I know they've got the money. I just don't think they will.
Yo,
Johnny,
I disagree with you, Johnny.
So my point is, if they're going to put down that sort of money, big money, I think they would rather put that money down and go and get an Mbappe.
That
That's
makes
what I think.
Fitness. What were you gonna say? Fitness. What were you gonna say?
So me I said, like, the money thing, bro, when you're in demand, Bridging, and clubs want you, they're willing to push the money out, man. So I'm not gonna. It's not impossible for City to push out 150.
Exactly. And hang on, Johnny, you're making that point about City not paying that money. Our highest transfer fee was 72 million. And who's to say we won't spend 150 million on Haaland? The same can be said for City. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. The same thing can be said for City.
That's false because Roman personally, there's reports that Roman wants Haaland. There is no.
He will spend the money.
That's not my point. My point is that we spent our highest transfer fee.
Again, hold on. There's no report that the Man City board are fiending for Haaland either. So there are reports that Roman Abramovich is like desperate
He wants him, man.
for
He
Haaland.
wants him
He's
badly.
desperate. Not once. There's reports that he's desperate. He will do anything for us.
Again, Dag,
There's even
we were
reports
desperate.
There's even reports out here saying that we will get rid of Werner if we need to fund Haaland. So it's not
Yeah.
That's
a
mad.
matter of
Dag,
there's
Dag,
two totally
listen
different
here.
sides of the coin. It's two totally different.
No, but
Yeah,
Werner
but Dag,
already.
Dag, we were desperate for
Werner can go,
Modric.
bro.
We were desperate for Modric. we didn't get him.
Yeah,
we were
but
desperate for Steven.
Yeah,
hang
but
on,
back
we were
then it
desperate for
wasn't like
Steven
that.
Gerrard.
Back then was different.
Johnny,
You
let
can't compare.
him
You
talk.
can't
Let
compare those
people
eras,
finish,
man.
man. Let people finish.
Finish what you're saying.
We were desperate, as I was saying, we were desperate for Modric, we didn't get him. We were desperate for Steven Gerrard, we didn't get him. Nothing is guaranteed. Roman can fantasize about all of these players as much as he wants. Nothing is guaranteed. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
We wanted Torres, and he got him.
Even more evident than all that, right? The year we signed Hazard, right?
Yeah.
You remember, we were after Neymar for 2 years. We were trying to get Neymar. Neymar, and then he went to Barca that same year. And then we signed Hazard, right? So sometimes the player that you really, really, really want, you don't get them. But to me, it's not the end of the world if we don't get him. Because if Havertz is this that we think, if Havertz is this talent, if he's this Hazard level, then okay, we missed out on another generational talent. But we have one.
Good squad, yeah.
No,
and also,
it's different positions, man.
No, I get that. But this year, when we missed out on Neymar, I was heartbroken. I was like, oh shit, this is the next guy, right? And then 3 months later, we signed Hazard, who's also the next guy, and we won titles with him. So it's like it's not the end of the world if we don't get him.
The other teams, Daniel, the other teams, your Barcelonas, your Real Madrids, they have got massive surgery needed. They need to do. They need rebuilds. We already started our process. Our process is already rolling. All right.
No, Johnny. I'm not arguing if we can get him. If he wants to come to Chelsea, he's coming to Chelsea.
Yeah, and we got London, mate. We're in London.
Yeah,
We're
London.
not in rainy
London.
Manchester, bruv. Going Manchester.
Yeah.
He can come to London, the capital of
What's
the
wrong
UK.
with
Do you
Manchester?
know what I'm saying?
I think it's up to him.
Forget Manchester, man. Manchester's
If
like...
he wants to go to City, he probably wait.
It's up to him, man. It's up to him.
You waiting?
Yeah, it's up to him.
Yeah.
It's not. That's what I said. I don't think it's up to us and Man City, but like
his agent will go where the money is. That's his agent. Money talks, end of. So
Mini Raiola, bro. That's all he is.
If City put down 150 million, and Chelsea put down 150 million, and it's equal and levels, it's down to which club he wants, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what I said.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll have that scenario. I don't think we will.
Full-on bidding war. It's a full-on bidding war. Whoever, I do not think that it's going to be where Haaland chooses. I think it's who wants to pay the most.
No, he's going to choose because
wherever there's money,
his agent can make a lot more money next year than he can make this year. Because we're not going to spend 150 million and then pay his agent 30 million. That's 180 million in one summer on one player. But if he goes next season where his transfer fee is only 65, yeah, his agent can ask for 30 million, like he's asked for Pogba and the rest of his clients, right? He can ask for 30 million, 35 million. So who knows if his agent's going to make him stay?
Yeah, but the agent will just get him to sign a contract with Dortmund. He'll just get him to sign a contract with
Raiola, exactly.
Start all over again.
If I'm being perfectly honest,
it's guaranteed from it's Raiola.
If I'm being perfectly honest, we're not getting Haaland next year. If we don't sign him this year, we have
we're not getting next year.
It's going to be like Havertz.
Okay, you know what? If I flip the question and if I ask you guys, how much are you willing to spend on Haaland? So if we go above the 150 range, how much do you say, cool, that's enough, we should pull out? Because if there is a possibility, if we do enter this bidding war with Man City, if they are that desperate for a striker, because they really do need a striker, there's no doubt about it. They can't go into the next season without a striker or if Ferran Torres up front.
I look. It's limitless. It's limitless. I don't care. Get Haaland. I don't care.
Nah, I'll pull out 150.
I don't.
151 is too much.
Bro, I think if Marina can get that down, if she can work her magic, get it to 100, 110, something, whatever she can do.
Yeah, we need that down.
No, go work. That 110, no, go work, bro.
No, man. We're gonna go win the Champions League, mate. So we're gonna get it. Don't worry about it.
It didn't work for Sancho because Sancho didn't have.
Yes.
Didn't have a guarantee.
Love to see it.
The next year, right?
That's it for me. I'm done.
Sancho didn't go to Manu because Manu didn't want to go overboard on the Sancho money.
I'm saying this, but he didn't have a guaranteed release clause the following year. This year, if we give them 100 million and that's the highest bid, and they say, you know what, no. We're keeping him for one extra year. Yeah, but you're going to have to get 65 next year. That's a guaranteed number next year. It's 65. It's not going higher, right? So the difference between him and Sancho is Sancho doesn't have a clause. So if we say 150 now, it's 150 next year, 150 the following year. It doesn't matter. But for Haaland, if we say 100 now, and you say,
Mike's doing a madness. I can't lie.
Listen,
Matrix, bro.
I was listening to you guys about the Lukaku situation. Like, if we don't get Haaland, with the Lukaku situation, if we don't get Haaland, I don't think it's a bad bargain in my opinion, because Romelu Lukaku knows Chelsea inside out already. He already knows the Premier League, and he's in a goal scoring form now, and it's not like he's going somewhere else to try and settle in again. He already has been at Chelsea. You know, it's Chelsea bred.
Let's leave Lukaku at Inter. Let's just leave him there.
No, hold on.
Leave him there, please. Just leave him there, man. Please.
Just drop out of this Lukaku.
Let's make it very.
I don't think beggars can be choosers. And Lukaku right now is one of the best goal scorers in the world.
Bro,
in a league, yeah, that is. Listen. 39-year-olds can go to that league and score goals, bro. Like you have Ibrahimovic.
You guys are disrespectful, man.
No. Get out. That's simply get out, man.
That's facts. That's facts, bro. Like people retire that league,
bro.
People retire in that league, man.
Listen, man. Yo, okay, calm down, Kazi, man. Yo, bro, Lukaku is not. He's not from Italy, bro. This man has been in the Prem.
That's so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. We're talking about. You want to talk about a farmers league? I understand. You say League One. They have PSG. That's really it. But you talk about AC Milan, Napoli.
AC Milan got knocked out by Man United.
Hold on.
It don't matter, bro. Man United have a good team.
Lazio, they have 5 teams that can battle every single year. That's not a farmers league. Bro,
Juventus. I saw Juventus in the CEO, bro. Juventus in the CEO. They're terrible.
A few years ago, Serie A, you could say it was the farmers league like that. It's not like that anymore. Now you have 3, 4, 5 teams.
I'm not saying it's a farmers league.
If we're going to look at farmers league, let's look at the Bundesliga if we're going to be real, where Bayern Munich just stat pad for fun. Yeah. That's a farmers league. PSG is more a farmers league.
I don't think the Bundesliga is a farmers league, man.
Guys, when it comes to like farmers league and that, I think it is a bit disrespectful because Lukaku's done really well. He scored a lot of goals. However, people are talking about Lukaku as though it's a risk-free option as opposed to Haaland. Let's not forget, like Lukaku, if we sign him, he's like an £80 million signing. That's a transfer record for us. That's a huge signing. And in his last season in the Premier League at Man United, he only scored 12 goals. So there's no guarantee. That if we re-sign him, he's going to score 25 or 30 for us just because he's been at Chelsea before. So there's still risk attached to it. I'm not adverse to it. I think I would go for Lukaku if you can't get Haaland, but it's not risk-free. That's my point.
You've got to build your system around a player like Lukaku as well. And
Same with Haaland.
I don't think Tuchel will do that, man. I don't think he'll do that.
We're not signing Lukaku.
I'd rather build it around Havertz, personally.
Johnny. I mean, if you look at it, hold on. The reason why, for me, the main reason why Lukaku has been banging it in that Inter side is because he plays Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
They do a partnership. He never did that in Manchester United. That's
he was. People thought he was a target man because of his size.
So Dags, going by that, all right. Who in our team's going to do? Who's going to be our Lautaro?
Werner. That's literally the whole reason why I want Haaland.
Do you think Werner's as good as Lautaro though? Like in that sense of profile?
No.
And it depends.
No, you know.
Technically, no. Lautaro is a much better dribbler. He's a much better passer. He has better link up play. Better link up play. But when he talks about
Haaland won't work, bro.
Make Doug finish now. Yo, make Doug finish. Then we can add to him.
I say my bad.
But anyway, like I was saying, Lautaro Martinez, he's a better technical player. He can pass it better. His link up play will be a bit better. But Werner's pace is unrivaled. So whoever you put him up against, if you have one main physical striker garnering attention from 1 or 2 center backs, right? That gives Werner the freedom to run wherever he wants, which is the only thing that's been missing this season, right? So if you look at that, will open up the chance creation we're talking about. That will create more chances having him play in a two striker partnership. So that's the thing. That's the beauty of the position we are in right now, right? We can get Haaland, who can play as that single striker. We can play Werner on the left if we want to. Or we can go and get Lukaku. But the problem is, if we get Lukaku, we have to put him up in a partnership.
Even if you don't have Werner with him, as if you have Havertz just that ready in behind him, that's already your Lautaro and Lukaku partnership there.
Yeah, but you need to have a partner for him. You can't play him on his own. That's why.
Shout out to Artem, man. He always spits facts.
Artem saying, I think this season actually showed Pep that he doesn't need to spend absurd money on a striker. Aguero injured most of the year. De Bruyne out for 2 months. The team's still scoring, no problem. But that's just his system. Like his system is amazing when you got the right players to fit to suit it. Which is why Haaland can go in there and he'll still be able to have chances put to him on a plate because the system's just that much better going forward. Right now we play a defensive system, which still creates a bit of a question mark because I don't think we're going to play 5 at the back next season, regardless of how well we're playing with it right now. I don't think that's a finished article. So maybe with a more attacking system, we might be able to play a bit more to Haaland's strengths, but that's too much speculation for now. The only time we've seen us play 4-3-3 or any attacking formation was under Frank Lampard, and the tactics were just too one-sided for that to work.
Agree. And do we not think that it's a bit premature at the minute to get in, talking about Hart? Let's finish our season at least and see where we actually finish, or how we progress in the Champions League, and then get excited about a player like Haaland, because right now nothing's guaranteed as we stand. We've still got a long way to go. There's still a lot of games.
For me, I
know we're Chelsea. I know, but nothing's guaranteed, bro.
We won't be playing 4-3-3 without a CDM, man.
I get that. And at the same time,
again, man.
we need a goal scorer. This isn't even just a conversation about Haaland. We need a goal scorer. End of. Yeah, we can't go into the next season. Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying sell Werner. I don't want to sell Werner, but we can't go into the next season with Werner as the main guy. Yeah, our main guy.
Werner's gonna back goals, bro.
I know Werner's gonna back goals.
Guys, we need it, man.
Yeah, but
I'm scared, man. I'm scared, man.
We need someone to compete with Werner. Werner can't just be our sole striker, but we can put 100% assurance that he's gonna score one in front of goal.
20 goals.
Havertz full spine, man. He'll get goals. Trust me, he'll get goals.
Yeah, but not a goal scorer.
He's a goal scorer, man.
I feel like
he's ice cold in front of goal. Havertz.
He's ice cold. But for me, I would like to see an actual goal scorer.
Pertaining to what Artem said about the Pep situation, if Spurs say if the other teams were like in shooting form, this season Pep wouldn't win the league with all they have been playing without Aguero and using De Bruyne as a number 9. If Liverpool were on form, Pep would be like 6 or 7 points behind Liverpool right now.
Exactly. If this was 6 years ago, even 10 years ago, Pep would not be first with this team.
No, that's what I'm saying.
This narrative that people have that Pep's doing it with a system that has no strikers and winning the league, that is not correct, because everyone is dropping off like flies.
Exactly.
No one's actually competing with City this season.
Last season when Liverpool won, everybody was struggling except Man City at some point. No, Man City was struggling.
Man City was struggling though.
Yeah, exactly. When Leicester won the league, everybody was struggling. Couldn't find form, couldn't keep up, couldn't win 5 games in a row, bro. When we won the league, we went 14 games. Everybody else around us were spotting. Manchester United tried to catch us or something like that, and we still won the league, bro. This season, it's just Manchester City's year where we were doing good as well. We dropped off, with the Lampard situation. Liverpool started the season well as well. They dropped off. Leicester started well. They dropped off. And, City already having that system they have for like 5 seasons. It kept them over the line with these guys who have been together
I don't think that's
for 4 or 5 seasons. What?
I don't think that's fair. Because, as in, it's not. The reason I say I don't think it's fair is because the form that City are putting up is title winning form. It's not because the other teams have dropped off that they're up there. They're going to win the league. And when they win the league, it's going to be close to 90, 93, 95 points.
Wait, hang on. I agree with that. But at the same time, this comment, I can't agree with this comment till they win the Champions League, because that's a different story. Right now, none of our strikers in the top 4, none of the strikers right now in the Premier League are firing.
We're not talking about the Champions League. We're talking about the Prem. We are leaving the Champions League out of this. But to what Oscar said, bro, this Manchester City team, if you look back at the teams that they beat in the last, maybe even Tottenham game when they beat Tottenham 2-0 the other day, that was a shit game, shit performance from Tottenham and a shit performance from from City, who just play the normal football that we all know they play, nothing exciting. When they beat Liverpool at Anfield, it was a shit game in the first half. Both teams look like shit. Liverpool, that's the first time Manchester City beat freaking Liverpool at Anfield, and it was a shit game. The game was so shit. Look at the goal of Alisson. Look on the goal where Alisson give away. Look on even the Phil Foden goal. Phil Foden, who scored the first goal? When Liverpool, they were just standing in the box, like 6 Liverpool players inside the box with only 2 Manchester City players, and they've managed to score a goal. Bro, City, they're doing what they can do. They have not, bro. If we look back at the season when they won the league with freaking Mane and Sterling in form, that season when we had when Manchester City was unstoppable. That's a title-winning team where they won every trophy in England to play for. They won everything except the Champions League that year, bro. This year they've been up high and low. They've not been high. If you really
They've played within themselves, Vitness. They've played within themselves. I
agree with you, Vit. I agree. The previous City teams have been way more dangerous than this one. But the numbers that this City team is playing, whether we like the way they're playing or not, they're getting 3 points every single week. And if we look at it, like I said before, they could finish the season on 95 points and nobody will be saying anything less. And as you mentioned, they're still in all the competitions. They could go to the Champions League final. They could beat us and go to the FA Cup final. And they're in the League Cup final. Yeah. So if they win 3 trophies this year, what are we really saying?
No, but again, that's not my problem.
That's what goes back.
My problem was the fact that in this league right now, this year, none of the elite strikers that we all categorize as elite or like at that top level are scoring or bagging goals. For me, no one really rated them, but we can recognize that Liverpool have a situation where they don't actually have a recognizable striker that's bagging in goals for them. Man United,
yeah, but that's
they have
Fabio. That's because Mane and the Salahs were bagging like 15
goals
each.
I get that. And that's why it would have been a different story.
City are similar in the sense that they get goals from all over the pitch, whereas Harry Kane is your only recognised striker. That
what about Son?
But at the same time,
yeah, but Son as well. But he bags you consistently. You know, Golden Boot winner. 25 goals a season, 28 goals a season. The way that these teams play, you don't solely have to rely on that typical centre forward. I think we.
I know, but hang on. Let me finish.
As Chelsea,
Arsenal would have been in a complete different place if they had Aubameyang scoring the same amount of goals that he scored last season. If he scored 25 goals, I'm pretty confident that Arsenal would have been competing around the top 4. Arsenal, if you look at their performances, it's not bad, but it's just the mistakes they make at the back that cost them games, and the fact that they're not scoring enough and Aubameyang's not popping up. If Aubameyang popped up with another 20 goals, this would have been a complete different story to Arsenal season.
Nah, man. November, October season,
Martial last season, I think he popped in 18, 19 goals, something 20. Like that. Exactly.
No, 19 in the league.
Something, yeah. If Martial popped up with those amount of goals, again, we wouldn't be thinking Man City's got that amazing of a team. You get what I'm saying?
Bro, I agree. Because
they've got goals everywhere on the pitch. That's what we don't have. We don't have.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But
we need goals in midfield.
What takes over the line is the fact that they've been together for ages. That's why they're performing like this, and they're not playing at their best. Because if we are being completely honest and looking back at we know Manchester City when they're on fire, they're not on fire, bro. They're just doing what they need to do to get over the line.
League is shit. That's
they're exploiting the fact that other teams are not competing.
No, that's what. Yes, you are right.
Exactly,
that's what I'm saying. Harry Kane looks like he's barely gonna get 20 goals this season. Vardy, I don't think he's gonna just get 20 goals as well.
Kane's getting 20.
Yeah, Kane might actually get 20, but Vardy, I agree with Vardy.
Man. Yeah, Vardy's different, man.
Look back at the goal tallies. No Salah, no Mane. They off. They're stuck on 14 or something like that. So previous seasons, they've been hitting 20s. So Manchester City, they're lucky that everyone around them are struggling to keep their form, which they, as I said, they've been together for years. The Liverpool system, I don't know what has happened at Liverpool. There's something happening in the background that we don't know about, because we would have never, none of us would never see Liverpool losing.
That's what I'm saying. This season's a poor season. And anyone here actually said that Man United from their performances deserve second place or are second place.
No, that's exactly that's what I'm saying.
Their football is shocking.
You can't even categorize them as a top 4 team.
Their football is shocking, man. Their football,
but they get their results. They get the results. Why? Because this season's been as well as their individual quality. This season's been poor. That's my point.
Yeah, I get that,
bro.
But
their football, man. God damn.
I would say Man United are a false second, but I don't think Man City are a false first. I think
I get that. Yeah, they're not a false first, but at the same time, I'm trying to say that they don't have a competition to even you get what I'm saying? To
thing is, last season they had competition, and you see what happened, man. They still came second place.
Now, last season was
but they struggled.
Different story. Last season was a different story. You can't compare last season to the season they're having now. They're a complete different team to the season the team they were last season.
Yeah,
I mean,
defensively, they had a massive problem with their defense last season. They completely fixed it up. Obviously, with Laporte being injured throughout most of the season last season. Right now, we're seeing Ruben Dias cement that line with John Stones. They're a complete different monster. They only conceded 21 goals this season. Yeah, it's crazy. Still, you gotta give them City the respect they deserve.
They're not playing as like they press high intensely in periods of the game now, and they know when to go back into their shell and be solid. And I think Pep he's gone a bit more easier on his style of how he likes to play in the opposition's half continuously for the whole game. Because last season he was getting caught out so many times and they dropped points. This season they've been a bit more, and obviously Stone's coming in, who we know there is a baller in that player, and he's proven it this season. He's got amazing attributes playing out from the back, which suits Pep's style of play. So everything's sort of fitting together, and he's had De Bruyne injured and Aguero injured, and he's still, because their system's been played for the last 5 years, and a lot of those players have been there throughout the process. He's adapted his style of play. It's not as, I feel, as like constant intensity throughout the whole 90 minutes. There are many drop-off points within the game that City have learned how to sort of soak up pressure, and that's why we don't think they're as amazing as they were 3 years ago, but they actually are. It's just that they've took their foot off the gas at certain points.
They slow down a bit.
Yeah.
They're efficient. If you look at the way that they play, that's what I love about City. Every single pass has an intention. It's not to hold possession. It's not to progress just a little 1 yard up the field. Every single pass has another pass already planned, right? And it's every single move that they make is effective. Everything now they're so efficient. They don't just waste chances. Obviously, since they've had to have Gabriel Jesus in that position, he's fluffed his lines a couple times, and he hasn't really,
Jesus is horrible.
Yeah, he hasn't had his shooting boots on whenever it's been needed. But if they've had a healthy Aguero, we would be seeing completely different.
The difference between their team and our team is the synergy they have between their midfield and their front line. So I look back at the goal they scored in the FA Cup quarterfinal against Everton. The second goal I think it was the second goal when Rodri put Kevin De Bruyne through on goal. That goal was pitch perfect, but same sort of pass we need to be finding for Timo Werner. I see Timo Werner making a lot of these runs, and more time than not,
when he's on
not
1v1
fun.
though, Tommy, when he is fun, what happens?
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think we create that many clear-cut chances.
Bro, we gave him 2 1v1s in the space of 7 minutes against Everton.
Nah,
you can't tell me about
him missing the 1v1s. I think he's talking about like him actually getting to the 1v1s because
you get what I'm saying. Strikers are gonna have the moments. They're gonna miss absolute sitters.
He's missed 6 big chances. Bro.
Look at Salah. Salah is not the most clinical winger you'll ever find.
This season?
I've seen Salah miss sitters.
Yeah, but has he missed?
But at the same time,
chances?
Yeah, but Kazi, that doesn't mean like just because Werner's missed chances, that doesn't mean that we're finding him on his runs all the time. We're talking about.
I agree with that though. I agree with
this. Chemistry too a bit.
We need to start with scored and finding him a lot more. But I'm just saying, like when we do find him, nothing happens. I don't understand when people are just using this excuse for him not scoring.
Again, it's not an excuse. I think Werner's been. I think in terms of finishing, he's been shocking. But at least what I can say is he's putting in more effort than I've seen from the likes of Morata and even Tammy. Because Tammy,
Giroud and Tammy, man.
With Giroud, it's like you know what you're gonna get from Giroud. If you don't get service to Giroud, and it's like,
Giroud's not a seasoned player. He's put me in a big game, and I'll do what we need to do for that game. But he's not gonna carry
give the service as well.
Yeah, man.
But you can't expect Giroud to get in behind and obviously get the ball. And obviously Giroud is not that type of guy. He's never had the pace. He's always the ball into feet, back behind. You get what I'm saying? Giroud was never that type of character that people are bigging him up to be.
Yeah, as much as we love calling Tammy Abraham a tap-in merchant, the original tap-in merchant was Olivier Giroud. Like even at Arsenal, like that was his entire game. But
he was not, bro. He was more than a tap-in merchant.
Giroud at Arsenal was scoring worldies like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks.
That scorpion kick, was mad, fam. That was so mad, man.
And he was so pivotal to the link-up play. But the only problem is that sometimes he just couldn't finish.
Slow.
But his link-up play was amazing.
Of course. But again, do you not hear what I'm saying? The goals he scored were tap-ins. They were headers.
They were headers, bro.
Most of them were headers.
Headers are okay. Look, for me, I apologize. Let me rephrase that. I guess for me, headers are like, especially when they're in the 6-yard box, they're considered tap-ins for me.
Nah, man.
Yeah, but
Abraham, he's 5'5" and he's missing with headers, bro.
Of course,
heading is an art. Heading is an art, man. Heading is an art, man.
I'd rather have Olivier Giroud over Tammy, but I'm just saying, at the core of it, if you look at the weight, service you're gonna give him, right? You're not going to try and feed it through the air if he's playing against a 3-in-the-back system because you're not going to be able to get it past the first guy. So you try and relay it across the 6-yard box, hoping that it gets across it, right?
No, Giroud's a finisher. I wouldn't say
Tammy. Yeah, he's a finisher. Yeah,
Tammy can't even head a ball, fam.
Because a tap-in
Giroud is pinnacle in the box.
Yeah,
when it comes to finishing on the ground, Tammy, I have no problem with him. I think he's really good finishing on the ground. But when it's finishing in the air, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, but he'll develop his game, Tammy. Tammy's still got potential, bro. Do you know what I mean? You can't. Yeah. Tammy's still got room to grow.
Yeah, Johnny,
how is he going
I agree.
Tammy does not convince me one bit when I see him play, man.
Hold on, guys.
Hold on. Johnny said Tammy's got room to grow, and I agree. Do you think his room to grow can be realized at Chelsea when he's
Nah.
Well, right now, he needs to sign a contract. He needs to acknowledge that he's not going to be, or accept that if we do go in for a Haaland or a Lukaku, he's not going to be that number one striker. And is he prepared to develop and build his trade?
I don't think he's prepared to accept
and be part of a very exciting squad. And potentially, if it is a Lukaku, in 2 years' time, Tammy could be our main number one. But
Johnny, I don't think
Tammy believes the problem with Tammy.
Wait, hold on. Can I finish the question?
Go on.
Go on, Oscar. I asked Johnny the question so that I could respond, basically.
Yeah, go.
But like when you say that, like he's going to sit on the bench behind a Haaland or whoever we sign. When you look at his peers, you look at people like Ollie Watkins, like Patrick Bamford. These guys are playing first-team football, and both of them have scored 12, 13 goals this season. So how is Tammy going to develop his game sitting on the bench? Won't he just end up being another Lukaku that we end up selling, or a Batshuayi that we end up selling, because they never get the game time to develop unless they go out on loan?
He'll want to leave if he doesn't get enough game time. It's as simple as that. He has higher aspirations than what will realistically achieve at Chelsea, right? Because we're going to go all in for that world-class striker. Tammy Abraham's never going to become that world-class striker. He's going to become a very, very good striker, not a Haaland or even a Kane to that extent. But it's just whether he wants to accept that role or whether he wants to go on for his career's sake and become the main man at a smaller club like, I don't know, Leeds or something else like that.
The problem with Tammy, he thinks he's this baller. Tammy believes he's this sort of this high potential Mbappe guy.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yes, it is. You need to learn your level, bro. When you learn your level of
that's self-belief.
then you start being realistic, man.
If you have someone that has that confidence or self,
arrogance,
what is this?
Confidence and delusion are two different things, bro.
Yeah, but how do
Delusion
you
are two different
hold on? When you say he believes he's this, what are you basing that off? Like, how do you know what?
Bro, asking for 180 bags a week. Asking for 180 bags a week, bro. Are you mad, bro?
He has a big ego. Then is that the thing? He's got a bigger ego than what he is. Too big for his boots,
bro. You can't even have a first touch.
Okay, in terms of contracts, that's a different story. But if you're talking about a striker, if you're talking about a striker that has ambitions and beliefs that he wants to get better and he wants to be the number one striker, that's something we do need. We need someone that has that ambition that doesn't want to be playing on the bench, sitting on the bench.
No, but it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed.
What's it called? Danny Ings can wish to be Ronaldo. He ain't gonna be some clinical finisher like that, man.
Yeah, but
sorry,
again,
you can have the belief all you want, man. You can have ability. It just is what
he's
it
not
is.
Ronaldo. Yeah, but that's not the problem. The problem, there's no problem with you having an ego or having that self-belief that you can be a better striker.
Yes, it is.
With
You're getting too big for your boots. You're getting too big for your boots.
Start for Chelsea, man.
You're
He
not,
really
man.
thinks he's worth
You're not, man.
180k a week.
He can't back that up. That's the thing.
I'm not
talking
about
up. That's
if
what
you're
makes it
asking
worse,
for
man.
180k a week, and you want
but
to
we're not talking about
on the bench, bro. It's just
leave all of the contract talks. The contract talks is nothing to do with what I'm talking about when it comes to being on the pitch and wanting to prove yourself. That's what I'm saying.
He's not proving himself, though. He's not.
Right now, he's injured, lads, or he's coming back from injury.
He's not.
Even when he played, even
when he scores goals, his overall game is shocking, man. Like even when he scores goals, man. Like there's multiple games scored. I think it was against Barnsley, man. Did he score against Barnsley? He's having a shocking game, man. That game was shocking, man.
No, but to be
we
fair
still won.
to
It
him,
was shocking.
No, but I'm gonna be honest. Everyone in that game had a shocking game.
But even against West Ham, bro.
Just Tammy. Everyone had a
he didn't
shocking
start
game.
West Ham.
All right, guys, hold on. They're running a hashtag. They're running a hashtag.
West Ham is scored twice.
Time for us to dead it.
What about against Spurs?
Yeah, Spurs is a bad game.
Leave Tammy alone.
Leave Tammy alone. And I'll tell you why about Tammy. Tammy this season, Tammy to start the season, his hold up play improved.
He had a shocking game.
Right? His hold up play improved. He was scoring a few goals. I don't know how many goals he's got. I think you need to get the stats on that.
How many goals did he have?
Right, but at the end of the day, right, Tammy last season he scored 16 or 19 goals. All right, he done all right. He done all right last season.
Jesus Christ, 22 big chances, bro.
That's more than
Listen, regardless, his goals contributed to
first
us
proper
getting
breakthrough
Champions League
season at
football,
Chelsea.
and you have to respect that,
bro.
You have to respect that. And Tammy's still got potential. You can't keep slandering
I
Tammy.
respect him
Tammy's
just for
still
this
in.
How old is Tammy Abraham? How old?
Tammy Abraham is like 24.
I mean, he's what, 23, innit? Oh, he's 24.
24, bro. What are you on?
He's 24. He wants 180k a week. And he came
Exactly,
off the
bro.
season with
You
20.
can't even head the ball. You're 6'5". You're 6'5", yeah. You can't head the ball. You're 6'5" and you can't head the ball, bro. And you're 6'5" and you can't head the ball.
He hasn't done anything to warrant that 180k. But again, my problem, I'm not talking about the contract. I'm saying if he has that personality of that self-recognition of him wanting to be better and he doesn't want to be on the bench, what's the problem with that? If we have someone that wants to compete for that first striker spot,
the thing is, is that he's not doing anything to compete with it, though. Like honestly, guy, have you guys seen a striker with worse movement than Tammy? I don't think I've seen a striker with worse movement than Tammy, man.
Yeah, but
he stands still.
Guys, you've got to look at the overall. The final third this season has been so poor. No one's been consistently playing with each other. So how do you expect a striker to always have?
He's played 17 games. He played 17 games,
hold
bro.
on, let me speak. How can you expect him to be in the right
place?
Bro,
he played 17 games.
Hang on.
How can you expect a striker to be in the right place at the right time? Knowing, like, expecting a ball to come to him, and your whole front line is disjointed. He's not going to be
against Wolves. The thing is, Tammy Abraham.
Last season, we were consistently playing with our front line, okay?
But even though
and he bagged us goals,
he wasn't good though last season, though. Listen, Johnny, he missed 22 big chances last season, though. He wasn't good last season.
You cannot say he wasn't good last season.
You
cannot say he wasn't good last season. That is
one at a time.
Johnny,
no one's
speak for so long, bro.
What anyone's saying.
I'm not speaking for. I'm having to speak for so long because you'll keep nitpicking and interrupting me, so I have to keep going on and repeating myself. The bottom line is, last season you got to put respect on Tammy's name. His goals contributed to us getting Champions League.
Facts.
All right, Adoy. The only reason Adoy got higher wages than Tammy was because Adoy was using the Bayern Munich deal to orchestrate that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
So when
is. Yes.
hold on, Kazi. So when Tammy says I want when Tammy says I want 180 grand, I fucking deserve 180 grand because my goals last season got us Champions League football. Where was Adoy last season?
So why
bro?
are we?
Whoa.
Let me speak. Let me speak. Let me speak. Let me speak. Let me answer that. Let me answer that. Let me answer that.
180 grand is not a lot of money on
Johnny
wages.
and Kazi.
All right,
Let me speak.
180 grand is not a lot of money on wages when you're paying 300 grand to Haaland and all these players. All right, 180 grand.
He's not that level, bro. He's not that level, though.
Wait, Kazi, let him finish and then you'll be able to speak without anyone interrupting. Go on, Johnny.
Yeah, so 180 grand is not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things on the wages of all our players, all right? Okay, it's not a lot. And to be fair to Tammy, he's been at the club since 6 years old. He's grafted, he's learnt his trade, he's contributed last year. He's done more than what Adoy's done, as far as I'm concerned. All right?
So what does Callum have to do with anything? Because you brought him up for like the first time.
How long can you let this guy speak for?
Listen, he
I think
scored
we have
more
to stop
goals.
with this Tammy
He
slander,
scored more
guys,
goals than
honestly. We
Adoy.
just need
Fact.
to break
But what
on
does
it.
Callum have to do with anything?
Because I'll tell you what Callum.
Let the man land.
Speak,
Let
man.
the man
Let me
land.
speak, bro.
You don't
Can
let
I
me
go
land.
after
The bottom
Kazi?
line is, yeah, I told you, Bayern Munich, right? Adoy used Bayern Munich. He was going to go for 40 million, and we didn't want to use him, so they had to pay him, extend his contract, and give him a better wage for him to stay. That's facts, whether you like it or not. All right.
Yeah.
That's what Adoy did to the club.
Let me speak.
All right.
Let me speak.
Like last
Let me say
season,
something.
Tammy bagged us
Oh my
goals,
God,
and he
man, this
contributed to
guy.
us getting top four, which is the main aim.
15
All right.
He had more big
Can I say?
chances.
He scored.
Can I
Whether they're
speak?
tap-ins
Can I
or not,
speak now?
bro.
Can I speak now?
Whether
Man?
they're
Let me speak.
tap-ins or not, don't bring up stupid
Let
points
me
like that.
speak, bro.
He
Let me
put the
speak,
ball
bro.
in the net,
Wait,
and
just
that's
wait your
what
turn,
counts.
Hey, how long is he
All right?
speaking, bro?
Right? He
Right.
put the ball in the net. That's what counts. And he did his job last season.
Hey, Lewis, man.
Last season he done his job. This season he's had an injury. All right, he's been in and out. He's lost.
Bro, Johnny, have you
Lampard as
finished?
manager. All right,
Johnny,
he's
you
lost
finished,
Lampard
man.
as manager, and Tuchel's
Johnny, you
come in.
finished.
Bruv,
Are you
do you know
done
what I
now,
mean?
bro?
Do you know
Are
what
you
I mean,
done now?
Kazi? You got man. I know you're a
me
young
speak.
kid, bruv, but you
Let me
need to
speak.
learn
Johnny, ease off
respect.
the crack,
You
man.
need to learn
Right.
respect when people are talking, bruv. When people are talking, bruv, you don't show disrespect like that. Everyone has to respect everyone speaking. It's taken me this long to make my point. And I've used Adoy as an example because why should Adoy get 150, 180 grand and Tammy be on his
I don't
80
agree with
grand, bro?
I'll explain it after
Right.
Can I speak?
Kazi, Oscar, and then Manny, you asked to speak
Bro,
after.
let me-
No one interrupt,
let me feel
please.
like this,
'Cause we ain't gonna get anywhere. Kazi, go on. The floor's yours.
First of all, the reason why Hudson Odoi, we didn't want to let him go because he was getting asked by the biggest team and the best team in the world, Bayern Munich. Here, they went for him for like a year straight, man. They wanted this kid, man, for 40 million, and we didn't want to let him go because of like the likes of Lukaku and Mo Salah. We let go of the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and them guys there, man. We didn't want to make that mistake again, man. Every single Chelsea fan, no one wanted Hudson Odoi to go to Bayern Munich, man, because the way how Bayern Munich wanted him to leave, man. No one wanted him to go, man. With Tammy Abraham, yeah, it's not even listen. Okay, you know what? The goals, yeah, are one thing. He scored goals. But if you remember last season, towards I think it was around February, where there was a stint where he just wasn't doing anything in games. He was so terrible that Giroud, we had to bring a 33. Like he was injured. First, let me finish, man.
What did he do? Tell me.
Let me finish.
Callum scored for Chelsea.
Let me finish,
Tell me
bro.
how many goals Callum scored for Chelsea.
Let me. Oh my, Johnny, what is this crackhead doing, bro? What is this crackhead doing, man?
Right, no one say anything. Kazi, finish your point.
Let me finish
your point.
Yeah, first of all, Hudson Odoi, yeah, last season was not a good season for him. I'm not going to try to convince myself. This guy, yeah, first of all, he was 19 years old last season, 19 compared to a 22, 23-year-old. I'm not expecting him to play every single game. Second of all, he had an injury that he was coming back from, man. An injury that you whenever I bring up, yeah, Hudson Odoi and Frank Lampard, you usually say, oh yeah, Frank Lampard didn't pick Hudson Odoi because he had to get back from injury. So why was he going to play then? He couldn't play because he had an injury. Two, the kid had a rape charge, man. Like his head was not in the right place, man. He was falsely accused of rape, man. Last season was not a good season, man. Footballing wise, even first of all, if you saw the way how he played against the likes of Bayern Munich, man, even when he came on, he had shining sparks, man. Last season, man, he wasn't like the times that he came on, he wasn't terrible, man. Stop this nonsense. Second of all, Tammy
Because
Abraham,
you're bringing out of foot. I'm talking about on the pitch, bro.
But if injury,
bro, listen, fam, people forget that
Let me speak, bro. Let me speak, yeah. I'm sorry, but if you falsely get accused of rape and you get taken to court over it, man, you're not gonna be the right mentality. Mentality's not gonna be good for you, man. I'm sorry, man. You won't be in the same. Your head won't be the same way. An injury. He was 19 years old, man. 19 years old. Had an injury of that. What's called an Achilles injury, man, and a rape charge, man. I'm sorry. You can't expect him to come back firing, man. It's not fair on the kid. Second of all, yeah, Tammy Abraham for me, yeah. It's over. How can you be 6'5"? You can be 65, so weak, man. So
bun that.
Wait, how long are we going since Abraham?
Talk about facts.
You're going round, Kazi. Make your point, bro.
How long are we willing to
Oh, and then listen. Is Tammy Abraham not bad in the air, though? Is that not facts, though?
You said Callum Hudson-Odoi deserves his contract because he had a rape charge and he was.
No, I never said that though. I never said that.
The point that we are making. Hold on. The point that Johnny is making. If you would care to listen instead of laughing at the camera, you would. If you could listen, right? Is that he has the career records to warrant asking for that much money.
No, he doesn't, bro. This is Tammy's third season in the Premier League, man.
Exactly, fam. Exactly.
Bro, Tammy has been in the Premier. Bro, he's gone to Swansea on loan.
First of all, I'm speaking first. It's my time to speak, bro. Second of all, Tammy Abraham does not deserve 180 bags a week, man. I don't care what you say. And what's
I understand you, bro.
For me, yeah, I'm saying he can be like a third striker. Let me speak. Let me speak, bro. Let him finish. I'm saying, yeah, he can be like a third striker, or we can sell him down to school to get maybe a DM, man. Maybe sell him and you get some money off him. But he ain't this level to be 180 bags to be sitting on the bench, man. Are you mad, man? That makes no sense, man. Listen, let me finish. Let me finish, man. But for me, what's called? We're having problems. Yeah. We're having problems here with the likes of Kepa, man. We have too many wages on the books, man. Giving Tammy Abraham, what's called 180k a week, man, to sit on the bench, man, to be a third striker, because we might bring in Haaland. We're bringing another striker this season, man. 180k a week just to be a third choice striker, man. That makes no sense, man. You either sell him, yeah, give him like 120 bags a week, sell him, or I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with him. But you can speak now.
Can I say something?
The 180 maybe
out of all the young players,
the 100
Mason Mount is the one that deserves 180, 200
a week. Let's not go there, bro. I don't want to hear anything about Mason Mount.
Oscar's next, bro. It's Oscar next, though. Oscar's next.
First of all, Johnny.
Young players.
Wait, Johnny.
Wait, hold on.
Johnny, why are you always shying at people?
Wait, guys, everybody, stop. Oscar, go on. What's your point?
First of all, that what you just said, Johnny, is fair. But if Mason Mount was renegotiating a new contract right now, he would get that amount. He would get really so it's fair. It's fair to say that.
He deserves it, Oscar.
But exactly. But hold on. First of all, yeah, I know Lewis.
Adoi doesn't deserve.
What is this guy, Johnny? What is this guy, man? He's a hypocrite, man. Mother's life, he's a hypocrite.
Guys, even when you react, you just make more noise. So please, just let Oscar talk, please.
Look, first things first, yeah. When it comes to the AC Hive, I know Lewis is going to represent for AC all the time. Johnny is going to represent for Mason Mount all the time, yeah. If anyone slanders Callum Hudson-Odoi, I'm coming for you because you can't do that. He's my guy. Callum is my guy. And let me explain why.
That guy's a baller.
Why he was offered so much.
How many goals, Oscar? What's he produced?
Hey, Johnny.
If you want to talk,
just shut up for a second, man.
Guys, shut up for a second, man. When everybody reacts, you make more noise on top
Johnny,
of
how much
Johnny,
life of crack did you sleep before coming on the show, man?
Johnny, I'm getting to it.
Lewis, just mute us.
I'm getting to it. When Callum Hudson-Odoi was 19 years old, we played him in the Europa League. This kid scored 4 goals and 5 assists all before the semi-finals, before he got injured, and we ended up winning the tournament. This is a 19-year-old kid that was our whole creative source for us winning a tournament in Europe. Yeah, that's how major this guy was at that age. Then, obviously, the Bayern Munich hype happened. Bayern Munich are not going to spend. Hazard didn't play the Europa League up until the semi-finals. Hazard didn't play then.
Nah, he
played
didn't.
the league only.
Hold on, keep going.
Hudson-Odoi was our creative talent. Yeah. Then we moved. Then Bayern Munich, obviously, the Bayern Munich situation happened. Bayern Munich don't spend that amount of money on a young kid unless they know this kid is going to be the next level, the generational talent that we talk about.
Yes, sir.
And we talk about guys. The is insane. Like the kid is going to be levels in 6 years. So we put that much stock in him. But there's a reason why we made sure we tied him down to a big contract, because Marina, Roman, they know this kid is going to be the next one. So give him time. Let's understand, first of all, out of all of the academy graduates, we love our academy boys, yeah? Reece James, Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, all of them, they all went out on loan. Callum didn't go out on loan because he was ready from the academy. He
17 years old, bro. 17 years old, man.
He's 17
years old. He didn't need to go to two different leagues.
We can talk about last season all we want, but we all know he came into the team. He did play all right for a couple of games. Then he got injuries, and we know what happens at injuries in a season.
The rape charge, man, as well.
Two seasons in a row, he's been ruined by injuries. This season, he's hardly had any game time. Every single position we've put him in, he's performed. Left wing, right wing, wing back. It don't flip him out. He scored against Man City. He scored against Arsenal. He scored twice in the Champions League. The kid is levels, bruv. So
come on, man.
I rate Tammy a lot, but when it comes to Callum Hudson-Odoi, I take it personal. So
Hudson-Odoi has the highest ceiling of all the academy graduates.
Listen. Let me answer Oscar. I'm not disputing Odoi's talent, bruv. That's not what the argument.
You asked about his contract, and I told you why he's worth that much.
Hold on. You're just giving Odoi. You're giving Odoi, because Bayern Munich go knock on the door, you're giving Odoi 180, 200 grand a week, right? Just because he's talented.
It's security, bro.
I'm sorry. But football don't work like that. Let me speak. He had Chelsea by the short and curlies, mate. Whether you like it or not, he had them by the short and curlies, and Chelsea were forced. They were forced to pay him the money.
No, they were not forced.
Right?
They were not forced.
They were, of course, they were forced.
They were forced. They were forced. But it's nothing against Hudson-Odoi's talent or nothing. But he definitely bent the club over. Like
he bent us over, right? Now I don't take that too kindly. And why Tammy deserves a contract and why he deserves 100 million? Because last season Odoi was nowhere, bruv. Nowhere.
Because he
don't care. He wasn't playing, bro.
He was Mason Mount. Oh my god.
Tammy helped us get Champions League football, and that's what counts. So Tammy deserves a contract, bro.
Let me make a
future out of all their academy.
It's not about talent. It's about what you deliver.
Johnny. I told you what he did.
Do you think he can consistently deliver?
What about this season? What's it? How many goals he scored this season?
Your boy this season he scored multiple goals, bro. He's been benched, man. Your daddy Frank Lampard, mistreated him, man.
Tell me how many goals that Odoi scored this year. Tell me how many goals Tammy scored this year.
Frank benched him, man. Are you forgetting for your boy?
No, he wasn't benched. He was eased in because he wasn't ready. Callum Hudson-Odoi already said he wasn't ready.
Bro, listen.
Johnny, so why are you slaying him if he said he wasn't ready? Why are you slaying him then?
Because I'm saying Tammy was more important, bruv, at this moment in time. And last season, he was more important because he was on the pitch. He performed, he delivered, bruv.
Who's more important now?
I'm going by what he's done. What he has done.
Johnny, help you.
You think it's enough?
Jump back in 10 minutes. He's gonna get
all you want. Go on.
10 minutes, bro. Yeah,
go on, all you want, bruv. But at the end of the day, it's what you deliver on the pitch. That's what counts for Chelsea Football Club. That is what matters, bruv. And Callum Hudson-Odoi held us for ransom.
Do hard work and passion.
He never held us for ransom, bro. He never held us for ransom, man. That's why you hate him, yeah. Because you held
exactly because Hudson-Odoi is
he was one of the best young talents, man.
He was the best. Bro, Bayern Munich here wanted to buy this guy. The best team.
I don't give a shit. Real Madrid can want him. Everyone can want him. I don't give a toss, bruv. I don't care. I don't care, bruv.
It's business, bro. It's money. You just said, yeah, football's about business.
So why should Odoi get that money for not doing half of what Tammy's done, bruv?
He bought Europa League, bro. He won us. He got to Europa League, though. Did he not?
Give me a break.
Wait. Hold on, time out. Hold on. Now it's my turn.
Go on, Dex.
There is no reason for us to be having this discussion. This is not an argument. I don't understand what we're doing. First and foremost, Callum bent the club over and he took complete charge, which is fine.
What are you talking about?
No, which is fine.
Bro, no. I don't rate people saying this because no. Because if Hudson-Odoi went to Bayern and he became like into another KDB situation, everyone will be saying, "Why did he sell Hudson-Odoi?" I don't want to hear
I'm not gonna let you talk.
I don't want to hear it.
No one's gonna win.
Let Dag speak.
Let me speak for literally 2 minutes.
Yeah, let Dag speak when you're speaking of everyone else, Johnny, yeah?
For 2 minutes, yeah. 2 minutes. Please. Look, there is no need for this argument. Callum got them. Now he deserves his contract. He has shown us what he can do after the post-injury. He's come back and he's proven it. This is what he can do. But this argument that Tammy doesn't deserve his contract is kind of absurd. He has the resume, right? He has the resume to ask for this contract. He scored the goals. He has the stats to back it up. Callum did not when he asked for that
bro.
He did not have the stats for that.
The guy should be stacking shelves.
Okay, I agree. Can I just run to Dag real quick? Yeah. Look, let's not sit here and pretend like football is only based on what you've done previously. Football is also about potential. Erling Haaland is valued at 150 million, not because of the goals he scored for Dortmund, because of the goals he can score over the next 5 years.
Yes,
that's how football works.
Yes, he's doing much levels of
Oscar speaking facts, man.
We can't bring Haaland and Odoi in the same conversation.
I have us was not worth 70 million. I have us was not worth 72 million, man. I'm sorry.
Can you put Haaland in the conversation with Odoi, bro?
Can I have something?
Not even in the same conversation.
Anything else?
Oscar,
like,
right?
Wait.
Let me ask.
You go, Dag.
Look, you said, are we buying? Is this 150 million price tag based on Haaland's potential? No, it's not. It's based on the fact that he has 14 goals he has 20 Champions League goals in 14 games. It's based on the fact that he has a 50% shot conversion rate. It's based on the fact that he already has 100 career goals in 146 games. So it is completely about the stats in my mind.
Can I jump in?
It doesn't
jump in for a second.
150 million.
What did these stats show, though, bro? These stats show that he's a lethal finisher, that he will get even better and better and better as time shows. So the stats prove it now that he will do it in the future, though. Yes, he's been amazing this season, but if you think this is going to be his best season, God, no, this isn't. He's going to become so much better.
We know that, but like, you can't put Odoi in this conversation with him. Odoi's not done what Haaland's done, bro. Whether you like it or not, he hasn't done it. Neither has Tammy. Why are we fucking talking about Haaland and Odoi and Tammy? Doesn't make
Why
any
is
sense.
he getting so triggered when Odoi comes into a conversation? I don't understand.
Honestly, we just need to kill that Odoi family.
Hard work and passion, like his boy
He's just getting too toxic.
Do you all understand that? You all understand that after Mason Mount and Billy Gilmore, Hudson-Odoi is Johnny's favorite player. So I don't understand where this is coming.
No, he's not, man.
No, he's not, bro.
No, he's not, bro. No, he's not, man. Monster FC. I've been on Mount January.
This guy slanders Hudson-Odoi.
I don't slander Odoi. I give him high praise when he deserves high praise, like against Everton. He deserved high praise. He was next in line for man of the match. That's where I like Odoi, bro. But if you're telling me Odoi warrants a fucking contract for what he got because he held us by the short and curlies with Bayern Munich, I'm not having it, bro.
Guys, calm down. Let's take a breather. Let's get a fresh voice on. Dammy, try and decipher through all of this madness. Talk to me, bro. What's your thoughts?
Ladies and gentlemen, I said I was going to take a break, innit? But then I've come in and I was listening. I said, "What's going on? You man are out here screaming, screeching, shouting, making noise, bro. You man relax."
No, it's just Johnny still.
Johnny,
relax, fam.
Johnny,
You
bro.
understand? I don't
He's hurt, man. Johnny's all of a sudden
Thing
hurt.
is,
The
yeah.
effects of
Wait, go on.
Nah.
Let me speak.
Thing is, man, see, yeah, I can't lie to you. See, yeah, I've been listening. I don't even understand what you man. What's the? Are you man talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi's contract? What are we saying? Because I'm hearing Erling Haaland. I'm hearing
this is the situation. Yeah.
I'll explain to you. I said, why is Tammy not worth? Everyone's saying he's not worth 180 grand, right? Okay. But last season, his goals and his performances contributed to us getting Champions League football when Odoi was nowhere to be seen. All right. Odoi only got his contract because Bayern Munich came knocking on the door twice. And
Correct.
That's how he got his contract. All right.
Correct.
So Tammy does deserve a contract, and Tammy deserves to be upset why he's not getting anywhere near what Odoi is getting because of what he's done for Chelsea Football Club and what he's done on the pitch.
Let me speak.
I get that, but Johnny, this whole thing is
no one's disputing Odoi's talent, but you don't get contracts on just talent, bro.
So-called deserve.
Now
Wait, guys, Dammy, go for it. Please.
Can I say something to you lot? Yeah, you might know what supply and demand is, innit? I'm sure everyone knows what supply and demand is.
Thank you, Dammy. Go.
You might know what supply and demand is.
Yeah.
Callum Hudson-Odoi got that contract simply because Bayern Munich were chasing after his ass. Chelsea were not going to let another one of them. Nobody's rushing for Tammy Abraham, bro.
No one's rushing for Tammy Abraham, bro. That's a fact.
Let him land.
The only person who wants Tammy Abraham is Aston Sainsbury's.
Hold on.
Hold on, guys. Let the guys finish.
Relax. I'm not here for too long. Just relax in it. My point is, see, the whole Tammy contract situation, a lot of people have spoken to me about it. They feel like he should get, I feel like he should get a contract as well, but Truce, he's trying to push up his thing. He has his core business, his leverage. He has no leverage, nothing to leverage on. And see, the Callum Hudson-Odoi situation, if you know how much Bayern were twerking for this brother, I can't go into details because of certain things and whatnot, but at the end of the day, they were twerking so much for Callum Hudson-Odoi. There was nowhere on earth Chelsea were not going to give him the contract that he's done. Am I saying he deserves that contract? That's up to you to decide, didn't it? I don't think so, personally. I personally don't think so. I don't think he deserves that. But when you have the upper hand in business, that's what's going to happen. Nobody's rushing for Tammy Abraham.
Who's Tammy, bro?
He's rushing for Tammy Abraham.
Let him finish.
Hold on. Nobody's rushing for Tammy Abraham, innit? So at the end of the day, people can talk about offering him a better contract, but he doesn't have any, you can see he scored quite a few goals last season. I hear that. You understand? He scored 15 no penalty goals? That's very big. Not a lot of strikers do that. That's actually quite decent. And I would like to see him do a lot more. But Chelsea Football Club, clearly, and also the fact that Tammy has even signed the new contract. Tammy is looking at the fact that we've got Timo Werner when he was performing well last season. Tammy is looking at the fact that the club are going for Erling Haaland, despite him being there already. There are so many different elements. So for people to say that we should give him way more money and put him around that same Callum Hudson-Odoi money, the club are not going to do that because they've got other priorities. It's not going to run.
The biggest Callum Hudson-Odoi you ever find. But me personally, I don't even agree. But he deserves that 150 grand a week
at the age of 19, bro. 19.
He had the leverage. He had Bayern Munich coming in for him, and he made use of that.
Yes.
The thing with Tammy is Tammy does not have the leverage to warrant that. Yes, I agree. Tammy does deserve a contract raise, but 180k when you have no leverage whatsoever in your hand to demand that. Come on.
And the difference.
What do you mean? We got when Giroud's going to go. Giroud's going to leave. Giroud's going to go. He's gone.
And is Giroud not getting?
Wait, Johnny, wait. Out of all of our youngsters, who has the highest potential?
It's long.
No, let him answer.
It's long.
All of our youngsters right now. Right now, Mason Mount is level.
Hold on. See, that's the issue here with a lot of arguments. See, we're talking about Tammy Abraham's contract situation and comparing it to Callum Hudson-Odoi. We don't need to branch off the different elements. You're never going to finish your conversation if that's the point. Let's stick to the actual, nothing like who has the best red tete. We don't need to go down that route. You don't need to go down that route. It's clear as daylight that Tammy doesn't have you can't compare in terms of potential. Are you going to compare it to Mason Mount, Billy Gilmore, Reece James, Callum Hudson-Odoi? No, you won't.
That's just not simple and short. You can't do that. But you don't need to start branching off to that element. You don't need to do that. At the end of the day, it's simple and short. Tammy Abraham, I see, if you watch my streams here, you will know that obviously I spent about 15 minutes talking as to why people should stop disrespecting Tammy. But then again, with how life is, yeah, you can say Giroud is leaving, but you think the club are looking, okay, Giroud is leaving. Let's offer Tammy 180k. Absolutely not.
We should just go and buy Andre Silva.
Why everyone got an agenda with Tammy, bro?
Johnny, you the club are not looking at. We're looking at Erling Haaland.
Bro, Erling Haaland. They're not going to pay Tammy Abraham.
Johnny, I have a question for you. Do you think Tammy Abraham is going to lead us to
so
a Premier League or a Champions League?
You sell Giroud. Who are you replacing?
Giroud's leaving on a free, bro.
Who are you replacing? Johnny, hang on. In your squad, you get rid of Giroud and Tammy. You're left with Werner.
No, wait, Johnny. Before
you're left with a Haaland. That's it.
If Haaland comes in, what position is Tammy in the pecking order?
He's dead last. Let's keep it real.
He's third. And have you ever seen a third-rated striker?
Because at the end of the day,
have you guys seen a third-rate striker at 180k a week, man? That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's why I'm backing up K.
Like, young player, man.
Still a young
player. 7-man talking, one at a time.
Hold on here. See, Johnny, I hear where you're coming from in terms of he's a young player. I hear you, bro. Drogba didn't bust out the scene until he was like, how old was he? 24, 25 properly? I hear you, bro. But I keep telling people, see, we can talk about who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. But at the end of the day, you need to see, the club wants Haaland. They have Timo Werner. Timo Werner is going to be prioritized over Tammy Abraham. Haaland, they want to go. The fact that they're going out to get Erling Haaland next season tells you all you need to know. He is the least of their priorities, bro. It's not even I believe Tammy is going to do great things. I've been saying it for time, innit? Honestly. Jokes are, and the thing is, I even take the piss out of all our strikers. Even Haaland could even come to Chelsea and still mess up, bro. All these things are element. Everything is on the, but the club are not going to come in there, have 3 strikers. One is 25. I think Werner just turned 25. One is going to be 21, and the one is 24, all within the same age.
All right. So answer me this. When Manchester United, under Ferguson, do you know how many strikers he had every single season?
Okay.
He had 4 strikers every season, and they all played their role. And that included players like Solskjaer.
That's true.
What I'm saying to you is it's a long season. And players like Tammy Abraham, who you go and let go, I guarantee you, Tammy will go to whoever it is, an Arsenal, a Dortmund, he'll go to a Villa, and he will bag 20 goals a season. And those 20 goals a season, I would love half of those goals a season in my team, all right, when certain players need to be rested, or there's cup games, or there's injuries. Tammy's a great striker to have.
Okay.
I
agree.
Johnny, I hear you there, yeah. But bro, at the end of the day, you see Tuchel, Tammy is fit, and you see Tuchel play Havertz in that sort of position. You've got people around that can do stuff that you want Tammy to do, bro. This club, if we sign Haaland, will have more. And you're talking about Ferguson. Remember Ferguson used to use 2 strikers up front. Of course, you're going to need 4 strikers. Solskjaer used to come off the bench. He made his whole career from coming off the bench. At the end of the day, he can't run at Chelsea. I agree, we need 3 strikers roughly, but you've got Havertz who can finish as well as he does. You're going to, and the issue is they're all young, bro. You can't have people that are all around the same age messing about like that. If the club are going to get Erling Haaland, that is a statement signing. So you're going to go need again an older striker. You're not going to get 24-year-old Tammy, 25-year-old Haaland, and 21-year-old.
Don't let Tammy go. He will score goals.
Let him go. That's the same.
I'm not doubting that.
Nobody's denying he's going to score goals.
It's his turn. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me go.
No, I was just saying, like, Johnny, I hear you. United play with 4 strikers. No, I'm not doubting Tammy Abraham's talent, bro. He's a top. He has the potential to become a top player, right? But is that player on that bench worth 180k a week for a 4th choice option striker?
And is he gonna get the time at Chelsea?
Like,
you have to be real with yourself.
Season for 180k, man. That's very pricey and expensive.
180k
in the grand scheme of things is not
a lot of money.
But
Johnny
is money.
Listen, we can find middle ground. We can find middle ground.
£1 out of the
club. We can find middle ground, bro. Like, we can find middle ground. But first and foremost, that point with the Man United strikers is completely irrelevant because
they had 4 elite class strikers.
Players did not make that much money back then, so that point is completely irrelevant. It just does not make sense. They did not.
They played with 2 strikers, bro. They played with 2 strikers.
But they simply didn't make 180K like a week. Those prices are not. Like they're unheard of, okay?
You need a minimum of 3 strikers, a minimum.
Yes.
And Kai Havertz
We
is
still
a
have
false
players in
9.
that we
I
can
agree
bring
he's false 9, but he might not always be played false 9.
You're right.
That means you're left with Haaland as your central striker and Havertz as your central false 9. But Werner is not a central false 9. He's not a central striker, Werner.
But
whether you like it or not. So you're really only left with Haaland, bruv. And Tammy is a central striker. And Giroud's gone.
That's fine.
That's where I'm trying to understand.
When in football, are we all going to realize that certain things don't pan out the way we want?
Exactly. Johnny, I'm confident you're watching cricket or something. This is bloody football. Listen, things don't always go the way people plan in football. This notion that you have that Man United had 4 strikers and they played with they could keep them all on the bench. Man United had 4 elite
that was just a that was an example, bro.
Man United had Berbatov. They had the likes of Berbatov competing for that position. They had the likes of Rooney. They have the likes of Tevez. We don't have that at Chelsea, and at Chelsea, Tammy Abraham is just not gonna get. Hang on, Tammy Abraham is not gonna get that time.
But
we have.
Can I just say one thing?
You tarnish your strikers.
Johnny,
tarnishing is coming.
Johnny, can I respond? Can I respond? Because I really like Tammy Abraham. The first thing I said to you was that how can we get Tammy Abraham to progress to the level that he could be? Because will he be able to do that at Chelsea? I personally think like his peers, as I mentioned earlier, are players like Ollie Watkins and Patrick Bamford who are playing first team football. Tammy Abraham sitting on the bench for Chelsea is not good for his development. It's not going to make him become the top striker that he can be.
Oscar, all I'm going to say, and I'm going to end it like this. Last season alone, what Tammy done? He deserves his 180 grand a week. End of, bruv. End of. Adoy didn't do anything near that.
Why are you always bringing up Adoy? Why are you always bringing up Adoy, man? Why are you bringing up Adoy, man? Why?
Oi. Can I speak now? Cheers.
Can I finish my point?
Yeah. At the end of the day, for me personally, bro, we can talk about Tammy deserving a contract and whatnot, but see, but that's going to sit on the bench next season. Let's keep it very. I'm not even trying to.
Why are you laughing about our youth player, bruv? Why are you laughing about our youth, bruv?
I'm not even trying to violate
players, man.
I'm not even trying to violate. I'm not even trying to violate here. I'm not even trying to violate here because people know my stance on Tammy. But at the end of the day, I can have my personal opinions. But at the end of the day, the way things are. If I was a youth player and I see Timo Werner being signed after my good season, then the next season, despite everybody performing badly, they are going for Erling Haaland. That 180K contract, I think you can say he deserves it because of what he done last season. Agreed. But he's going to sit on the bench. The club are not going to do that, bro.
Exactly. I mean, you know, bruv, how many games we have every season. There's plenty of games to play.
Plenty of games.
And the bottom line is, with me, bruv, you got to understand, all of you have to understand with me, I back every single player, and especially when they've come from the age of 6 years old and run all the way through. He deserves his contract, bruv. He deserves it, bruv. Whether he wants to stick with that, whether he's going to accept to sit on the bench is another discussion. But you cannot, none of you can say to me he does not deserve the contract. And that is what the argument is about, bro.
So, Johnny, tell us why he deserves the contract. Tell us why.
Last season, brother, last season. Without his goals, we wouldn't have achieved our points, bro.
I think it's true. Tammy Abraham got another contract. No one would have a problem.
There was no other player that stepped up apart from Mount. All our youth stepped up, bro. The goals Tammy scored. Bro. He scored.
Listen, if Tammy got another contract, I'd be fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. But 180K is asking a bit too much.
Bro? It's not your money. It's not your money. What do you care how much it is?
Johnny, can I tell you why I care? Johnny, can I tell you why I
get a list of
the
wages in the Premier League?
Can I tell you why I care?
Let's see.
You have to be objective.
Is around that bracket.
Can I tell you why I care? Because to be honest, let me say my point because I was rudely interrupted last time. Anyway, what I was saying is the players that are on his level are your Patrick Bamfords, your Calvert-Lewins, your Ollie Watkins. Nobody is paying those guys 180 grand a week. They all score 15 goals a season. It's all very, very important. And like I can't remember who said it, but I would love for Tammy to get
for Chelsea.
Hold on. I would love for Tammy to get a new contract. I want Tammy to stay at Chelsea. But the problem is, if you give him 180, it's just bad business because then we won't be able to sell him and his career will be stagnant. He'll sit on the bench. And he won't be
I don't know why everyone is making it sound like it's bad. See, that's not my thing. See, like, we can talk about that he deserves it or not. Is he going to get it? That is my conversation. He's not getting it.
He might, he might get it.
If he hasn't got it this season, hang on, Johnny. If he hasn't got it this season, that Werner's not even scoring or firing, he's not getting it next season when we're looking at Haaland.
Hey, but forget Haaland. Lukaku,
he has a better chance of getting the job at Aston, man. He ain't getting that.
Honey, relax, man.
If Tammy goes and scores a Champions League semi-final goal,
that's not.
It's not a big goal. Like,
Can you just?
no,
but
Johnny,
the thing is, Johnny.
Let me ask this question real quick. Johnny, is Erling Haaland the only problem we have in our team right now? Like, just a striker. All we need is just a striker. Is that all we need right now? Or
no, we don't score enough goals from the field. We do not score enough goals.
I'm saying, do we have other holes in our team?
Yeah.
Other what?
Do we have other holes in our team other than just the striker?
Say that.
It's a yes or no answer.
Yeah, of course we do.
Okay, now
bear with me.
Bear with me. If we have a striker that's bagging 15 goals a season, right? And he's playing very well in the Premier League, but he's just not as consistent as we need him to be, right? Isn't it possible? Wouldn't it be good for us to flip him, right? Because that's what you do with academy products. Let's be perfectly honest. You develop them and then you flip them, right? And if we flip him for, say, 60 million, wouldn't that be perfect?
And
then he gets the contract he deserves at another club.
No, it's not perfect. It's not perfect because we've got Drinkwaters, we've got Bakayokos, we've got Emersons, we've got Alonso's, we've got so many players, bruv, that we can offload to make the money back and get them off our wage bill.
Drinkwater is not going to go for any money.
Stop. Dag then Dammy, go for it.
This Chelsea Football Club, we don't sit here and we don't make ends meet. We make profit, right? So it's not it's not a matter of we can make the money back by selling Bakayoko for $5 million and Drinkwater for $2 million, right? Yeah. I want us to flip some of these academy products because I love what Kevin De Bruyne and Mohamed Salah are doing. Oh well, they're not doing it with us, but at the end of the day, that's just going to mean more eyes are going to be on our academies. So now some of these players that might not end up like that will be sold for
Dags. You're gonna sell Barkley for 40 million. You could sell Loftus-Cheek.
Barkley is not going
for
40
million. You sell Drinkwater for 10 million, whatever.
Bro,
You sell
Ruby's not for 40 million. Ruby's not going for 40 million, bro. You're waffling.
Why have you got to sell a striker that got you 19 goals last season?
Because he's not going to play. He's not going to play.
You're making money already elsewhere. You're making money elsewhere.
Okay. Do you know what? Can I?
He's not going to play.
$180K
a week.
Johnny, I want to ask you a few questions, my bro. Can I go ahead, bro?
Yeah,
Johnny.
Go on.
No one interrupt, please.
When it comes to the youth thing, obviously we both see eye to eye in terms of the youth in it. Everybody knows one of my favorite. I mean, everybody knows everyone knows how my whole thing started, innit? Was Mason my propaganda as well, innit? I love the youth players. Don't get it twisted. You understand? Even before I hopped onto this bird platform or YouTube or whatever. Now, Lewis, what have you done? Who made that, fam? Why you man always editing?
Yes, bruv. Hive.
Nah, this is funny as hell, fam. Nah, I'm not involved. But at the end of the day, I swear, Lewis, you're the one that edited this. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure you edited that for Johnny. Yeah, I'm sure you edited it for Johnny. I swear to God. Did you not? I knew it.
Oh my God.
What's this one called? This one the penitentiary as well.
That is criminal.
Alright. Anyway,
so criminal, Lewis.
Money made.
Johnny. Alright. So number one, bro. So You reckon? So, do you think it would make a lot of sense for us to actually sign Tammy? Like, so to give him the contract even after we sign Erling Haaland, number one? That's my first question to you, bro. Just answer me yes or no in it.
Yeah, because we're going to sell a lot of players in summer.
No, I'm not. No. Let's not talk about that. I'm not saying it's a yes or no question in it. Do you think we should do that?
Yeah, because Giroud's going. Of course, we need a third striker.
Okay.
Again, stop.
Yes or no, bro?
Right, hold on. Okay, yeah.
Yes
All right,
or no.
Number two. Do you think that Tammy Abraham is going to play up to 15 games next season as a striker?
Yeah, potentially. We've got cup games as well. We've got how many cup games? We've got three
yes
competitions. Premier League.
Okay.
Yeah, of course he will.
Based on that package, so do you think that he's going to start ahead of the likes of Havertz, Werner, and Haaland next season?
It all depends on.
No, it's not all.
No, bro. Yes or no?
Yes or no, man.
And the way the season pans out.
Yes or no in it? It's just a yes or no.
I've just said to you, he could potentially play 15 games. Yeah, what's your point?
Do you think he would be starting ahead of Havertz, Werner, and Haaland next season?
He might get his chance.
Oh my goodness. When is it going to end, Robbie?
Yes or no? Johnny's smart.
I'm not. Hold on. Do you think Haaland and Havertz are going to play 60, 65 games every game?
Bro,
They're not going to play every single game.
But question is
Werner's not a central striker.
My final question to you.
It makes sense. Well, what do you say?
I mean, don't ask me, Sammy. No disrespect.
Wait, but you can change system though. You don't have to play one as a lone striker. You don't have to be.
You might let Johnny speak. You might let Johnny speak.
No disrespect to you, Sammy, but you're asking me, do I think Sammy's going to start over an £150 million striker? Of course he fucking well isn't. But what I'm saying to you is, we've got a long season.
I'm getting somewhere in it.
And Haaland might not play every single game.
Yeah, I'm getting
So
somewhere,
you need
bro.
to play another central striker.
Let Dammy speak, man.
Yeah, I'm getting somewhere with this in it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not asking questions in it. I'm asking questions in it. So my question to you is: do you think it's worth paying somebody, £180 million to play about 15 to 17 games a season?
No, for me, no.
Do you see my point?
180,000, yeah, 180,000.
Yes or no, bro? Come on, man.
Games. You might let Johnny speak.
180,000 for a player that potential has huge potential that can still score us goals, is part of our squad. I don't see 180 grand a lot of money, bruv, in this day and age. No, it's not.
Bro, Mo Salah is on 200k a week, bro. Come on, man. Don't be silly.
Let Johnny speak, bro. Let Johnny speak, please.
Tammy, listen, guys. Tammy might ask for 180, but Marina might say, no, we'll give you 140. You know
my point, Johnny, is like my point, Johnny. Is that,
who said it's set in stone that it's 180 grand? It's not 180 grand.
Johnny. The point I'm trying to prove with these questions I'm asking you is that at the end of the club don't rate him like that. If not, they would have offered that. That's the point I'm trying to get across. The thing is, the way you've described Tammy with those questions I've asked you is the same way the club are looking at it. Do I think it's right? No. You've had Lukaku, you've had Salah. You've had Kevin De Bruyne. You've had all these people. Tammy could well and truly go and win England the World Cup. That would be a massive L. But as of right now, bro, you and I both know this. We both know this. And the thing is, nobody can drag me for Tammy because I have praised him to the high heavens. I've praised him. Why am I repeating? What was that, bro? Anyways, but I've praised him. I've praised him to the high heavens, bro. But true say, we both know this, bro. Do you get my point? We both know this. It's not going to happen. That is my argument. So
at the end of the day, we've got the money. It doesn't matter. Money's
the
bottom line is, I'll tell you, Dammy, the bottom line is, bruv, is that I don't think Tammy is going to be happy to be third, and therefore we'll push a move. But that's a different discussion altogether. Whether I think Tammy deserves a contract, I do. I think he deserves a contract, and that's where I'll stick with my point.
I don't think he deserves 180k to be a third.
Hold on, bro.
He's not saying 180k. He's saying a contract. He deserves
a contract. Yeah, I think he deserves a contract.
Yeah, he does deserve
a third choice, a third choice striker. That's fine, man. But to be 180k.
You need to isolate. So basically, if you isolate the situation, no other strikers, whatnot, 180k, you feel like he deserves. That's what you're telling me, Johnny.
Say that again. Say that again.
Not there. I said so. You're basically saying that you feel like he just deserves 180k if you isolate the situation. Is what you're saying.
He deserves a contract, whether it's 180 grand, who knows? But I don't.
I mean, I hear where you're coming from in it. I agree in it. I agree. I agree. I don't disagree with you.
I don't think he's going to want to. I don't think he's going to want to settle for third choice. He won't settle for it. But he deserves his contract, bro.
Yeah, that's the reason he's reluctant to sign a
That's
contract.
my point. So we all agree. So why we all asking about?
We said this minute one
because this Kazi, all these people start off with talking shit and turn it into.
We said the same points that
we said the same points exactly. We said what you're saying, man. I said I don't want to listen. Listen, I said he can get a contract, get a contract, but not 180k a week, to be a third choice striker. That makes no sense, man.
No. Hold on. Let's clear it up right now. You lot did not say that because damn it.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Wait, listen, we did, man.
Listen, why would you say 180k to be a bench?
No, I said I was questioning he's 180k, man. That's what I said, man. I said I don't want Tammy Abraham. I think Tammy Abraham does not deserve 180k a week, man. That's what I said, man. And I said that's facts, man.
Let me reiterate exactly what I said. I said the club are not. If a club are gonna give Tammy Abraham 180k, would he be third in the pecking order?
Yes, he still would be third in the pecking order, man.
No, they wouldn't give him 180k a week.
Give him 180k to be a third striker.
Hold on. I don't think I understand what's going on through Johnny's mind right now, right? Or hopefully I'm getting this right. But from what I'm understanding from what Johnny's saying, right? If you think about it the way we want to play next year, right? We're going to play Haaland, Werner, and Havertz together. We're going to try to, right?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so, man.
I think it's
we'll try. I think we'll try to, but go on.
I don't think so. I think we'll play wingers, man.
Make your point.
In my mind, I think we're going to try and fit our three newest signings together because there are newest signings, and I don't think any of them would belong on the bench, right?
I don't think so.
Each of them have bring different attributes to the game, and they could fit together. But I think what Johnny's saying is having them all playing in your starting lineup. That's going to give Tammy Abraham more than enough game time. He's going to get game time. If Giroud leaves, he's going to get more than enough game time. So that's the point that he's trying to make. It's not the fact of
it's 15 games, more than enough game time to warrant 180k a week. That's Chelsea's question.
Tammy Abraham. Let me speak for a second.
Nah, 180 grand for a third
180 grand is nothing.
a week, bro.
Let me speak. Hang on.
Wait, hang on.
Gini went 180.
Wait, hang on.
Do you know?
He's refusing to sign a contract, though. He's refusing to sign a contract.
People talking at once. Chill. Dad, go for it.
Oi, Lewis, I literally got to go, man. I've got to go, but yeah, I think you all understand what I'm saying, right?
Johnny, I fully hear where you're coming from, innit? But I agree with what Johnny is saying. I agree with what Johnny is saying, innit? But at the end of the day, for me, I'm as long as we all know that the probability of brother being here next season is low, then I think that's where I'm calm with that. I understand what you're saying.
I'm looking at a realistic way. The club is looking at the situation. We all know that Tammy is not going to get for game time he deserves.
I said this.
Exactly, but that's why I'm trying to back up your point. That's the exact same point I'm trying to make. We all know he's not going to get the game time he thinks he wants, and we know that. And does it warrant 180k a week? I don't think so.
No, it does not. No.
That's the only point I was trying to make.
I mean, that's why he doesn't want to sign a contract.
180k. The only reason we're talking about that price is because of Callum.
Yeah, that's
the only reason we're talking about. No one would even think.
I'm jumping off, bros.
Alright, in a bit.
Thanks for jumping on, guys. Take care, bro.
Don't worry, bro. Lewis, message me, yeah? Alright, in a bit, man.
Take care.
Yeah, the price tag isn't it's not a discussion. I mean, we all understand. To be perfectly honest, Callum had us by the hands. That's why we gave him that price. But I'm pretty sure had he asked for it,
Bayern Munich wanted him as well.
He should have asked for 100.
Mike is doing that.
Yeah, again, I don't think Callum deserves that, but different situation. Look at Gini Wijnaldum at Liverpool. Gini Wijnaldum ran
leverage exactly. He was able to get it done. This is all hands. Let the man get his
Wait,
back.
someone's mic is crackling.
Yeah, someone's mic is bugging out still.
I'm trying to figure out whose that is. Yeah, go on, Doug.
Yeah, but you know that for like what was I saying? Oh yeah, the price tag, right? But like all fairness for Callum, let him get his back. Like we can't do nothing about it. Coming up from South London, right? He didn't have the best childhood, so he was able to
Bro, he went private school, man. I don't know where he had that.
Wait, I get your point, yeah.
You know what I mean. I'm just talking about shit. Let's be perfectly honest. Like if it's like all these. The amount of competition you're gonna have, like growing up, it's not gonna be easy. So the dedication to it, just for him to get his money, it's all respect. Like we can never talk bad about people asking for the amount of money that they think they deserve, because that's what it is. They think they deserve that. And the reason why I'm defending Tammy is simply because he has the stats to back it up. Right? It's just look. I don't think it's 180. I think he deserves 100K a week. Like I'll give him 100K. Mm-hmm. But again, for a third choice striker, that's still a lot. In my opinion, you can get a cool 60 mil for Tammy. Easy. Well, how much did Ryan Brewster?
I don't think we'll get. I think
Ryan Brewster went for what, like 20 mil?
35, I think.
No, he went for 20.
What did he do? What did he do when he went for 35 mil? No, honestly.
I don't even remember who this guy is, man.
So for us to say that Tammy won't even get 40 mil is kind of absurd, you know?
Yeah, he'll
get 40. But here's my thing, yeah.
That's a big profit. That's a big profit for me. So if he thinks that he can stay and battle for his position, and he's fine with taking a pay cut to like 100K, 120, I'm fine with keeping him as a third striker.
I mean, he doesn't want to sign the contract because he doesn't want to be the third striker. That's why he's reluctant.
In that instance, show the man the door. There's no need.
Exactly. The whole argument was, do we give Tammy 180K being the third choice striker? That was my argument.
The thing is, because apparently he wanted the same contract as Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not as if he's not being offered a contract. He is being offered a contract, but he's not accepting it because he thinks he values himself as more than that. And I'm looking at the situation. I'm looking at Gini Wijnaldum at Liverpool. Gini Wijnaldum was pivotal to Liverpool winning that Champions League again. In that run that they had, especially against Barcelona, he was pivotal. You know how much they're paying him a week?
How much?
80K.
8K a week, man.
80K a week.
Hey, bro.
80K a week. They're paying him 80K a week.
And
he's a starting 11.
He's a starting 11. 180K a week. Oh man,
relax, man.
And this is the thing. But for me, I don't think Tammy has done enough to warrant 180K a week. For you to warrant 180K a week, you have to be our starting striker. And he's not our starting striker, and I don't think he ever will be. Because if he's not our starting striker right now, when Timo Werner is not scoring, he never will be. And we have to come to the realization. We have to come to a realization. Romance, youth players, and Chelsea, they never combine together. It's never been a thing. We need to accept that.
You need to do it now, man. Word.
No, unless you're really good, yeah, like the Michels or the Lampards. Unless you're really good at a young age, yeah, and that's when you can come in and actually have a chance. But apart from that,
I love Odoi, but I accept the reality that.
What is that,
man?
Bro, I can't tell you. Fabio, it's your mic, bro. You need to keep your mute.
Oh, it was Hancho. It was Hancho.
Hancho, unmute your mic a second, please.
It was Hancho. It was Hancho.
It was Hancho, bro.
It was Fabio, but go for it. That's cool. Right, let's check.
Yeah, as I was saying, is it me?
Nah, it was Hancho.
Yeah, but as I was saying, listen, I love Hudson-Odoi, yeah, but I've come to a realization with youth players, especially at Chelsea, that nothing is guaranteed. At any point, they can be sold. You get me? So it's like we need to accept that reality and move on. With Tammy Abraham, I'm pretty sure that everyone wants like this romantic story that he can become our next Didier Drogba, but it's potentially not going to happen.
Just gotta accept it. At the same time, though, we need to understand that potential can only carry you so far. Because I mean, look at Tomori.
I hear that.
To me, one of the highest ceilings as that
was the club's doing.
No, but wait, yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like if the club doesn't like actually think you're that good, they're gonna let you go, which is what we
but
saw.
Dag, at the same time, I look at that situation. That situation was mishandled really badly by Frank Lampard. I've always said Tomori did not warrant. Listen, Tomori had 2 bad performances, and he never saw the squad ever again. He got frozen out completely. And to me,
I can't lie.
I didn't see
Tomori
Tomori as
club and the manager got it wrong.
I didn't see Tomori as the worst center back out of squad.
So are you saying mismanagement in the sense of we brought him up too early and we didn't give him enough game time, or mismanagement in the sense of how we
dropping him for 2 bad games is disgraceful, man. I'm sorry, man.
He was player of the season under Lampard.
It was Lampard's merits.
It was not. It was not Lampard,
lying,
man. Nah, it was the board, man. The board wanted Rudiger, man. They wanted Rudiger, man. Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard. Listen, let me just finish it. Lampard wanted to sell the likes of what's called the Rudigers, the what's called the Rudigers, the Keppers, the Marcos Alonsos. He wanted to sell all the old players, but the board's like, nah. Look what Giroud's doing. Giroud went on to go get us top 4. They said, you know what? We want Rudiger to stay here and play. They also want Christian as well, man. The board rate Christian highly for good reason. You know, it's called shout out to the AC Hive. What's it called? But the board wanted Christensen and Rudiger to be still be in the team, and apparently Tomori was the one that was left out, man. Because Lampard loved Tomori. Lampard loved Tomori, man. Now Lampard loved Tomori, man.
As well.
Listen, right? If oh my God, I don't think I love how Tomori went to AC Milan because it's a good fit for him. But if he had went to that Everton side,
oh my God, man.
Oh my God, bro. If him and Ben Godfrey had been their partnership, bro, it would have.
Yeah, that would have been a different story still.
For me, what's called? For me, Frank Lampard, even the Kepa situation, man. Like Frank Lampard did not want Kepa, and the board, Marino, wanted still saying, we're gonna give him another season, man. Apparently they've talked it out, and they're gonna give him another season, man. Nah, man, they never took nothing out, man.
Take the L, bro. We're not getting that 72 million back.
Exactly.
Of course,
she's hurt, man. She's hurt, man. She's hurt.
I think we have to control. And I don't see Marino like selling Kepa for 20 million because you know how Marino works. Marino is, if she doesn't get what she wants, at the end of the day, no one gets what they want. You get me?
Listen,
so if it doesn't go by her,
Kepa's not being sold. Simply that. Kepa's not.
Kepa's market value at the moment.
The worst goalkeeper I've ever seen in my life, man.
He may go on loan, but just straight out sell, I don't think it's going to be possible.
Yeah, I don't think Kepa's going to be sold this season.
He's going to go on loan for a couple seasons still.
I mean, the thing Johnny was talking about, how we can make ends meet with the sell of Bakayoko and them.
It's not guaranteed.
Bakayoko.
Napoli don't want Bakayoko, bro.
Napoli
don't want him.
They offered $5 million for Bakayoko. So how much did gotta go for?
Nah, if I were Chelsea fan, I would take.
How much is if Bakayoko actually gets game time in the Napoli side? How much is Drinkwater going to
anymore. Not anymore. He was, but not anymore.
What happened, bro? Even Barkley, though. Barkley's been bad, you know.
No, I think he had the injury or something.
Even Barkley, man. Even Barkley was called. He hasn't been that good, man.
Yeah, he had the injury still.
Yeah, when? It was like 4 games ago.
No. He got injured. Early on in the season, he was doing really well with Jack Grealish, and then he.
He got injured. Yeah, I remember that. But I think recently he's been out of form.
Drinkwater won't get anything, man. That guy cannot go for 50p, man.
We need to terminate his contract.
Like he's finished, man. Terminate that contract.
How much does he get?
I think he was on 100 and something.
He's on like 100. Yeah,
130.
The guy is playing for the under-23s now, man.
Yeah.
Bro, what is that, man? What is this guy? Who is he? What happened?
I think at that time Chelsea were doing a lot of panic selling. At that time we got Kante and we didn't have someone to partner him in the midfield, and on deadline day we were panicking a lot, so we just decided to get a good partner, which was Drinkwater.
Nah, Drinkwater we were pushing.
To be fair.
We wanted Drinkwater for months.
Yeah, we wanted Drinkwater, man. They wanted Drinkwater.
To be fair, Drinkwater did play well the season beforehand. He did win the Premier League. So
not even Leicester finished 16th that season. I don't know why we went.
I swear that season was the season they won the Prem.
No, we got Kante the season after they won the league. Then Drinkwater the season after that.
For me,
back to back.
For me, what's scored? For me, I'm just saying what's scored. I feel like Erling Haaland would be the best fit for us.
As long as we don't get Lukaku.
Listen. If I'm being perfectly honest, right? Lukaku does not. I don't think Lukaku's the right pick. But
please, no.
Thank you.
Bro, people don't realize that
not the right
the
pick,
Italian league is slow and he has space.
No, I understand
when he comes in the Premier League, he ain't going to be on that.
Not only that,
but he's done it in the Prem before. He's done it. He did it at West Brom. He did it at Everton.
I let Dak.
How old was he? He was
finish
22
that.
when he was at West Brom.
Yeah,
let Dak finish, man.
The thing with Lukaku is it has to come. He has to play in a partnership, and we've already seen struggles with that with Werner, right? Like obviously, it would be good to get him in so that we can finally have that partnership.
I'm gonna go, yeah, guys.
But
see you guys later, yeah.
like whenever we need to take a break, whenever we need to rotate or scenarios like that, we're not going to be able to play them on their own. And having just two single strikers isn't going to help us at all. And so, look, if I'm being perfectly honest, if Lukaku's going to cost 80 mil, 90 mil, I would just go out and get Kane. I mean, because Kane would open, he's a totally different player because the link-up play is just, right now, I don't think there's anyone better. Like, as a striker, as an overall striker, I don't think there's anyone better than Harry Kane.
I mean, Levy and Abramovich don't do business.
Say that again?
Levy and Abramovich, they don't do business.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, if we're as desperate as we are for Haaland and we can't get him, we're going to be desperate enough to buy somebody else.
Here's the thing, but there's not that many options. That's the problem that we currently have in this generation. There's not that many options. If it's not Haaland, if it's not Kane, if it's not Lewandowski, if it's not Lukaku, then who else are you looking at realistically?
Not even Lukaku. The thing is, even if we get Lukaku, we get him for what? Let's say 2, 3, 4 years, right? We're gonna have to go out and find another striker. And let's be honest, right? If we're gonna if we want strikers to have resumes, we want them to have experiences, right? You're going to be looking at people that are young right now. So over the next 4 years, they build up their resume.
Which is what we need to be looking at.
Who's a viable a young striker right now that's really getting it kicking? The only one.
I'm seeing one. This guy called Boulaye Dia plays for League One. Currently, I think he's got Boulaye Dia. I can't lie, he's banging still. He's got a 34% conversion rate. He's currently upcoming. He's 24. But he's obviously his name's not going to be up there with the likes of Mbappe or for Haaland. But
24. That means he's going to be 28 by the time we purchase him. So again, it's just going to be another stopgap. So I don't think that's going to work. Like when we say youngsters, we're
disappeared as well. Sorry, man.
We're going to be looking at somebody who's 21, 20, 19, 18, around that, or 22, around that age group. So that by the time that comes up, by the time the Lukaku era ends, this is all if we get Lukaku, right? Then we'd have to buy yet another player, and how expensive are they going to be by then? It just keeps going up. Apparently,
do we honestly want Lukaku though? To be fair,
no, I don't
want
that. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not.
Bro, even in the Champions League, what did he do, man? Trust me, he's just benefiting from the slow, open game in the Italian league, man. Shouldn't go.
Hey, man, I'm going to be heading out. Yeah, big up everyone in my panel.
Yeah, probably end the stream around here now if no one has any final thoughts. Big up Graham with the donation saying Kazi, when Lukaku's Timberland boots land at Cobham, you better apologise to Timo for his first touch. Can't be asked. Anyone got any final thoughts, guys?
No Lukaku at Cobham. No Lukaku.
Haaland or
you know what? We only got 1 week left, so let's survive it before the natural break ends, innit?
Yeah. One more week of international duty, and then we'll be back with Chelsea news daily. But big up everyone who's been locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button if you guys haven't done so already. We out. It's been over 3 hours. Definitely need to take a breather. But big up everyone who's been locked in from start to finish. Smash the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for another live stream. Take care, and up the Chelsea.